Allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind. Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get it higher power over Naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Maiyegun la wa mo la mo dodo. Maiyegun la wa mo la mo dodo. Maiyegun ti dé ọ̀rẹ́ aráyé. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Lórí ṣe ń lọ ní Maiyegun dá wa sí. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun Live. It is going to be another People's Parliament tonight. And if you want to join us, you are advised to use the link, either the one in the comment section or the one in the description. It's not like it's easy to find, joining us live. So you can be part of this too.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
At the day, a lot of people have been asking somehow, like, Maiyegun, are you not going to say something about this TB Joshua of a thing? Okay, I'm going to say something tonight. And you are also going to say something too. the People's Parliament. Share this broadcast, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that for those of you who want to talk about TB Joshua, like that, as those of you who have opinions about that, the first thing is to ask you is, have you watched the documentary? No? If you haven't, I'm going to say your opinion or what have you, or your view on it is probably going to be based on hearsay. A lot has happened in the last 10 days. 10 days into 2024, a lot of you have a lot to say. Now use that link. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Maiyegun live, and it is also the People's Parliament. But the way we normally do it, for those of you who probably you are watching this for the first time, so let me tell you how we do it, okay? Usually, people come here to come and listen to Maiyegun. Afterward, they can possibly contribute by phoning in. But the difference here is that the People's Parliament is where, everyone can freely express themselves, their views about Nigeria. So even if you are a Lagos Abobaku, a Buhari idiot, on this parliament, right, you are welcome. In fact, people can disagree with you without going sort of, personal with you. So it's more respectful, it's kind of engaging as well. There will be no phone calls. Now, to be part of that, you have to do few things. The first one is you need a quiet room, okay, where nobody is going to disturb you, right? You need, at least, of course, stable internet, all right? Because you're going to be like streaming. Joining us is like you are streaming too, right? Then you have to make sure that you put your face, or should I say the device you are using, you put the camera right next to your face so that we can see your face when you talk to us. And please put on some clothes, okay? It's a serious, It's a serious parliament. And I will see you before I admit you, before everybody will see you. So if I get to see that you are lying down in your bed in the dark, like the normal way you will watch this broadcast, you cannot join it live in that same position. You have to appear serious, like you are appearing on CNN. You know what I mean? But before we get to that part, I usually try to get everybody in the mood. Getting you in the mood is to give you, in brief, right, the current happenings, updates, catch-ups. These help people to say, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That's what I want to talk about. I'm going to join. And you only have about 5 minutes, 5 full minutes to tell us what you feel like. Now, listen to this. So what you want to talk about may not kind of be in any way related to what we are talking about now. And what you want to talk about as well may be the same that somebody else is talking about, but you want to, this is your view now, so you can also still join. And I advise everybody who is interested to join early, because it gets busy. And the moment it gets busier, you may just be on the queue and you may never participate before the time runs out. So I advise people to do that. I'm doing this because this is our first People's Parliament in 2024. And the last time we had one, Some of you probably who recently joined, you probably saw this clip brought you onto Maiyegun's diary Politico. Yeah, this is a throwback. The last People's Parliament, one of them that actually got the attention of a lot of people. Remember Sekou? One circle is like I've put them upside down.
And me being a Pan-Africanist, I have followed through most of the political activities in Nigeria. So that's what gave me, just to give you a background of who I am, so that I will be able to make analysis on the ongoing issues in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Please.
Yeah. So I tried learning Yoruba, but I did not. I speak Hausa perfectly, because when you live in the north, Hausa is the common language there. So next to it, because I live in the middlebelt close to Kwara State, so you have Yoruba language, but the Kwara people, sometimes some of them speak Hausa as well. So my Yoruba is not good. So what I want to speak here tonight, Maiyegun, the issue of Nigeria. Nigeria, I'm from Liberia, by the way. The name of my country is Liberia. And if you know Liberia, Nigeria helped us in the 90s when we had civil war in our country. Liberia was falling apart. We fought civil war, from 1999 down to 2003, and Nigerian forces helped quench the civil war in Liberia. So Nigeria was the hope of the continent, the giant of Africa, the country we all look up to and say, one day in the future, this is going to be our China. This is going to be our United States. If Nigeria succeeds, Africa succeeds. Every African, especially if you live in West Africa area, I'm not talking about regular people or people who really analyze issue, you will know that Nigeria was the hope of the continent. But unfortunately, in the last 10 years, we've seen Nigeria going down the drain. We're seeing Nigeria promising future now becoming dashed, and we've seen that it seems that there's no hope. So when people are making a lot of analysis, I come in and tell them that this is my own understanding. The problem in Nigeria is a summary of what is happening in all of African countries, which is number one, the way we got independence, the institutions that we inherited were not decolonized. It's like the colonial masters made a deal with people we call freedom fighters, and they replaced them. They just replaced the white Oyibo with our black brothers who continue the colonial legacy. And I will give you an example. Your police is a typical colonial police. During the colonial era, the police was meant to protect the colonial elite. The police was there to beat up the people, subdue them, and terrorize them to protect the colonial masters. That's what the African police do now. That's what the Nigerian police does. The elite of the colonial era, they were bourgeoisie who lived in Africa, but then their real home is London. Their hospital is Paris. When the colonial masters get sick, they take them to Lisbon, they take them to Paris, they take them abroad to go to get treated in the what they call the metropole. And the Africa was the farm, was the place they work, was where is where you extract the natural resources. The London is where you go to enjoy it. Our elite are following the same pattern. The educational institutions were designed to make the colonial masters to look like saviors and tell the people who have been exploited to appear as if they are being indebted. They have to be grateful to the colonial masters for giving them education. Why that education was actually a miseducation. If you watch our education today, it followed the same pattern. The religion.
Sekou from Liberia. And we hope that Sekou will be joining us again tonight. And more like him, who want to indeed, give us a very different perspectives. You know what I mean? From a different lens and lenses like that, on how they all see Nigeria. Seku's view, being a Liberian who grew up in Nigeria, sort of gives his view some serious weight, and it's been trending. David Undenyi even tweeted about it, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And indeed, a lot of you are joining us tonight, probably. That's how you found Maiyegun's diary Politico, okay? So also on the parliament, it's also an opportunity to meet face-to-face with a lot of you who have become, who have built your own personalities as well on this platform based on your regular views too. So indeed, it's going to be an experience, so to say. Now, TB Joshua, which is what is so trending right now, especially in Nigeria, after the release of the BBC Africa Eye report on TB Joshua's victims, the victims of synagogue, the human rights abuses, the rape, the slavery, what else? The fake miracles, and then a lot of all of this. That's why I was asking earlier, have you watched the documentary? Because they're like in 3 parts, part 1, part 2, part 3. Okay. And I actually tried to watch the first. So I watched the first part, and I was pretty much like not really that interested, as somebody who knows TB Joshua and the synagogue stories as a child, like when I was a little boy. And there are many of you who have probably the similar stories, right? There was no internet then. There was no Facebook, no Twitter, no nothing. Do you get that now? So a lot of us are not surprised. That's the word. You see? But one thing here is this, which I have observed in the last 48 hours on this issue of TB Joshua. A lot of people believe that the documentary was made to tarnish his image. Others feels like the documentary was made to divert the attention of the people from what is going on right now, and so many other reactions. And some people are asking the BBC to do the similar investigation on this, on that, and all that. All of these reactions. And the reason why they are so kind of viral is because we have internet now. Or Indomie generation. You see, if you see anybody who is above, above 30, and they are alarmed by the TB Joshua's documentary, all of those, that's why I said, have you seen it? Because I'm not going to repeat every word from it, okay? So if you have really seen it, a lot of us who were like over 30, some of us are seeing the evidence for the first time, because majority of the things they told us about TB Joshua, they were like folklore stories. A man that could wake the dead, a man that could cure cancer, cure AIDS, and all of that. Here you get, they were like folklore stories. So I grew up very scared of him, even though I had no reason to be, because I probably would never have, I would probably never have had any contact with him. But he was like a very, very fearful man. And the moment he also repackaged, like other pastorpreneurs in Nigeria, the miracle merchants in Nigeria, TB Joshua's, right, is the only one that, for those who even understand the politics of Nigerian churches, TB Joshua and the rest and all of that stuff, you will not really be alarmed, except for the fact that this is you now seeing the victims. Here you get one-on-one. And in Nigeria, where religion is a very powerful tool, are you with me? That is why, to make you understand, because whatever I even say, it doesn't matter. Okay, like I said, TB Joshua and the rest of all of those pastorpreneurs and the roguish religious manipulators in Nigeria, they could only exist in places like Nigeria, poor countries where they are so prayerful, like, like Nigeria, Sha. And that is why it is easier. It causes problems where you decide to want to tell Nigerians how they have been manipulated by religion. They won't accept it. What do you mean? Don't talk about man of God like that. You will still see those who are going to advise me. Maiyegun, majority of the things you don't know about this TB Joshua, I will advise you to stay away from it. And that kind of annoys me. And that's why I said, when I want to talk about your pastorpreneurs, I usually like to talk about them when they try to use that same fraudulent, manipulation to make you, or sort of, to calm you from reacting to the failure of governments. But in the case of TB Joshua, seeing all of the victims, taking out all of the other sentiments and the rest of that, I think it kind of eats differently. But knowing Nigerians for who they are, let me tell you something. In Nigeria, a pastor set his church members ablaze because they committed fornication. People were alarmed. Oh my God, how could he do that? What? He was punishing them. So I think 2 or 3 of them died. Others, they sustained, like permanent bodily injuries, like permanent burns. When the police kind of got involved, government got involved, and he was arrested, there were those Nigerians who were going to his prison every day to go and conduct their normal congregation services that they normally do in their church, right? There were those that have been called Jesus Christ in Nigeria, like they have been like people who woke up there. So the part of TB Joshua, which indeed, for anybody who is human, to remove all sentiments and what have you, because he is dead now. In June, it's going to be 3 years that he's dead. But when we were younger, you see accusations like this. At a point, TB Joshua was like, what do you call it? I think he actually called himself God. Yeah, at a point in his career. Some of you, I don't know if you will remember Kola Olawuyi. You see what the BBC, what BBC is showing you today. Kola Olawuyi already showed it to us 30 years ago. Or more than 30 years. I mean, sorry. No, like more than, more than 30 years ago. Kola Olawuyi. Come back. You get that? But the only thing is because in Nigeria, nobody really investigates all these accusations or allegations. And if you are victims, nobody will believe you. Do you get that? Nobody believes you. And that because of that, you will be in Nigeria as well. They blame the victims. Why didn't you talk? No, people, this is not new. A lot of people are saying this for the first time, are thinking, oh, why didn't they say all of this when he was alive? They've always been saying it. You, the Indomie generation, you probably just have. And then for others, this is the first time people are actually seeing documentary of the. And if you go to majority of all these religious centers in Nigeria, both Christians and Muslim, I'm not joking, you will see different subjugation and all of that people have been subjected to. But because some of them are powerful, what have you, right? Even when you make the allegation, nothing is done. And when nothing is done, it's probably just going to come out to be like, It's not true. So that is why, for somebody like myself, on the issue of TB Joshua, okay, and some other things said, all right, the abuse of his own daughter, the using women, or using young women, okay, to recruit other young women. That's not new in Nigeria. They do that all the time in those places, don't they? But all of you can probably continue to pretend. So TB Joshua around that time, it was some sort of even feared by those ones you call the GO today. When we were growing up, it was like a lone ranger, because they believed that he had this very powerful. He has a very powerful hypnotizing juju kind of like, but it's called power, Holy Spirit. I mean, if you are above 30 watching me right now, who grew up in Southwest Nigeria, at least you remember that time that TB Joshua, when he says, in the name of J, ni oruko J, and they said, no, he doesn't call Jesus. I don't know if some of you are old enough to remember this. Allegations upon allegations, fake miracles upon fake miracles, and all of that. There are people who have also said his church saved them. Okay? And there are those, apart from church miracle and all of that, there are those that will tell you that he is one of those, the churches with the biggest philanthropic outreach. Like he did this, he did that. So that's why I said, if you have watched the documentary, if this is your first time of, in fact, hearing all of this or seeing all of this, and to you, it's an agenda. I'm not saying there is no agenda, or don't get me wrong, because I can't speak for you, but I can only speak for myself. But if this is your first time of seeing all of these things or hearing all of these things about TB Joshua, and you are like, well, it's good to know that is why history, that they try in Nigeria to rewrite all the time, that is why history must always be taught. Here you get, so that generations after generations would not be told wrong history, like the Fulani terrorists, the jihadists that believes that their forefather that couldn't cross middlebelt defeated Nigeria, and Nigeria is their forefather's estate, the entire Nigeria. So they have the right to take over everywhere. That is wrong history. They killed Uthman Dan Fodio. Here you get. The people of the middle belt of today now then kill Uthman Dan Fodio. He did not cross beyond the Sokoto and few other places in Mali. Even in the same Sharia North, he didn't actually cover everywhere until the demarcation, or what do you call it? The balkanization, or okay, I won't call it that because it's there, so it's balkanization. However, it is redrawing the map where they called creation of states. Now, if you go to Gombe, you hear Gombe North, Gombe South. Gombe South are those who are not Sharia. If you go to Kaduna, you hear Kaduna North, Kaduna South, Southern Kaduna, Northern Kaduna. The Southern Kaduna are people who have nothing to do with Sharia, but they have been the victims of jihad. If you go to Taraba, if you go to Yobe, if you go to Fiordus, all these places, if you go to Adamawa, you get Southern part, they no be Sharia. But the criminals who created states in Nigeria, the Fulani rogues, so what did they do? They tried to kind of amass all of these places to themselves and claim that, just look at how big we are, when they are not. So a lot of you are reading about TB Joshua. You need to read a lot more. Let me tell you something. See, that these victims may never get justice because a lot of you have condemned them already. So I know some of you are still going to say it on this program tonight. And I'm going to agree with you. I don't know if you have noticed that. If you come on the platform, on the parliament tonight, and you come and teach me about TB Joshua that I don't know, I will agree with you. I'm not going to argue with you because it's of no essence anymore. Because if it is actually a real place, they would have stopped him long time ago. You will only be reading about him. Go on Netflix and go and search for religious cults. Just put those two keywords and see all of the series and the movies, true life stories of people. Say dedication. You do think all that one that Onyibo they build Onyibo they carry pong to build church because TB Joshua felt like his own forefathers were enslaved, and because his forefathers were enslaved, it will make those Onyibos walk like slaves too. Somebody who was closer to him said it, who appeared in most of his videos said it, and you, we probably have no contact with him. You disagree. It's okay. It's fine. So he said, Onyibo captured his forefather, so he will make Onyibo to come and now they now build that big synagogue. But people didn't remember. People probably have forgotten that. Even him, TB Joshua, was also carrying pong. He was washing toilet. He was making himself a servant leader like them. And he was recording them. If it was today, TB Joshua will be going live every 30 minutes. But he was smart enough to keep all those records because he knew that what people see convinces them more than what they hear. He broke the code a long time ago. You know what I mean? So anyway, like I said, when you come on, you can tell us what we don't know as well as other things, okay? But we need to make sure that the history are told very rightly, okay? And if you probably have other perspective to it, we know that why is BBC not reporting about the killings in northern Nigeria? Are you serious? Have you forgotten the Fulani terrorist documentary? They did that one now. That was where we got to know all the Fulani terrorist leaders and the places they control and how powerful they are in northern Nigeria under Boko. I don't know if you have forgotten that anyway. But some of you are saying that, why are you not investigating about this or that? Listen, when you have access to information like this, sometimes you probably just have to process it and be like, okay, if I have anything to pick from this, right? Are there any crimes committed? Apart from the fact that people personally volunteered, because the issue of being hypnotized or being kind of controlled and all of that, you can't really prove that. But you can prove assault, you can prove rape, you can prove all those things. Those are crimes. Here you get. So when you look at them and you look at the victims, and you probably try to sort of, leave all this your emotion and just breathe in, breathe out, like that. And just imagine if any of them is your relative and you are not a religious fanatic. Because there are people that don't mind, though. May them kill all my families are evil people. Pastor Joshua saved me. Do you think there are no people who have things to say about Adeboye? Or about other scandals within their own RCCG that they have managed enough to cover up to this moment? But when you look at what religious cultism does to the people and their victims, what you should look mostly is, are there crimes committed? Here you get. So in a very, in places where, you see cult people who are killing themselves. They tell everybody to kill themselves. Some are waiting for the end of the world. The date that their leader gave them that the world is going to end, they'll pack themselves somewhere. Thousands of them. And they kill themselves. But in Nigeria, you just have to I'll leave it out like I said. So we have all the terror and the jihadists with what they believe, strong belief. That's also what religion does to people. When you talk and our Islamic brothers and sisters will be like, what I'm saying is that, don't be Islamophobic. Baba. Hey. That's what they say in Yoruba. Mechanic. You know what I mean? If a madman just dash at your mom and they just kill your mom like that, I know, God forbid, because that's what someone will say, like, God forbid. I know. I'm just saying. If you see Nigeria mechanic, running towards you, you go ja. So when you look at where you saw people who machete babies, women, helpless people, shoot them, machete them, butcher them. You escape that people, and they say, "Omo, fear not, ke. I am in fear of the north." Do you understand that? So if they tell you, say, make you fear not, my child. Omo, fear not, you. I can because of fear not too. So if they say you can't have phobia for Islam and this violence, of course you have right to have that fear. Until that fear is completely extinguished, completely, neutralized, everybody will still have that fear, especially those who have seen fire, death, innocent people killed. So yeah, some of you may have what you have to say about that. I've kind of chosen few there, okay? So I'll leave the rest to all of us who are going to be the parliamentarians. I've started seeing some of the parliamentarians already settling. So if you are hearing me, and I don't know if you can see me as well in the studio right now, I have a few parliamentarians who are already there. I advise that please put on your cameras and then mute your microphone, okay, until you hear your slot, and then you can make your contribution. So if you don't mind, just to kind of further get us into it, okay, some part of what Sekou also said last time, just for you.
Evolution. The colonialists were in bed with the religious masters. They tell the people to calm down. In fact, our traditional rulers, some of them were compromised. Those of them who refused to compromise were removed from their throne. If you compromise with the colonial system, then you remain on your throne. Today is the same thing. Our traditional leaders have to compromise with the men in Abuja, the unknown forces in Abuja, in the capital. They have to connive with them to destroy your destiny. Now, all I'm saying here is that the colonial system continues, but it has just changed face. It just have a black face on it. So I say this to tell you, when people say, let's divide Nigeria, let's break up the country, let's have a Yoruba nation, let's have a Igbo nation. As a Pan-Africanist, I'm sad because our philosophy was to create a black United States of Africa. So when we see now that a country like Nigeria cannot survive, that means that our theory has been debunked. But here is what we tell people. It doesn't matter if you divide Nigeria today into 7 countries. The same elite who are in bed with London, who are in bed with these forces in Europe, they will be the same elite who will take over this country. Example, South Sudan and Sudan. Did South Sudan become better after they broke out from Sudan? I don't think so. Many countries are broken up in Africa after independence, but it was the same elite who were transported to the new country. The main people who wanted actual freedom were killed, were removed. Those who wanted real transformation were replaced with the bourgeoisie. Then the second thing I want to say, the forces, the internal forces that are working in African countries are against the people. If you look at Nigeria very well today, you can determine the future of Nigeria by looking at the forces that are controlling Nigeria. What are these internal forces? One, the religious group. I grew up in northern Nigeria. I went to school there. I was born a Muslim. I studied the Quran. I went to, if you have been to Niger State, Mina, if you know the institution called RET, Islamic Education Trust in Mina, controlled by Sheikh Ahmed Lemu. Those are the people that brought me up. They gave me scholarship. I went to that school in New Horizons College. I graduated there. I learned the Quran. I was a Muslim until I started traveling, and I decided to put religion aside. What I saw in northern Nigeria is that these people were colonized twice. They were first colonized by the Sokoto Caliphate through the Islamic Revolution. They were still under that colonialism, then the British colonialism came. So they are not in alignment with you in the South. You don't understand. They are operating under 2 influences of colonial culture that they have inherited. One, they inherited an extreme version of Islam called Wahhabism, which even Saudi Arabia is trying to abolish. and embrace modernity. This northern Nigeria inherited an archaic, outdated Islamic view that came from Baghdad and Saudi Arabia those days. They inherited it. And it is very much entrenched in their culture. They do not believe in Nigeria as long as they are not on top. As long as Islam, for them, the vision for Nigeria is for Islam to triumph. That's the understanding for them. The destiny of Nigeria must lean toward Islamic revolution. That is the elite, the agenda. I'm not talking about the ordinary people on the street. They don't know what's going on. But the elite revolution, the colonial.
Yes, thank you very much there, Sekou. If you are watching, I mean, I don't know what time it is now in Liberia, and if all you have tonight is just to watch and not much a chance. But I have here the early birds. Okay, can you let's see if we can keep the microphone muted, please. I will check from this end, by the way. So yeah, thank you very much. So I have all the early birds so far, and like I said, there is no point in getting mad with me in the comment section, okay, about TB Joshua and the rest of them. See, to me, okay, they are mostly charlatans. In fact, there's nothing like that, you know. Majority of them to me are charlatans. And because people's faith, with my own experience with Nigeria and Nigerians, people are more afraid of their pastors or man of God or even imam or sheikh than they are scared of Allah or God. Here you get. And some of you fanatics, I don't expect you, all right, to agree with me on that. But that is my view. And it is not just about your TB Joshua, okay? And let me tell you something. Another mistake you should never make is to believe that when somebody is dead, they will suddenly turn to saints. That is another idea that some of you would need to kind of drop, okay? Look at me seated here. You know what they say? They say when you are alive, at least do good so that we won't have to lie at your burial. When he was alive, he was such a... No, we won't have to lie. So if you die as an evil person, that you are dead, let us respect the dead. Respect the dead, the God. Respect your foolishness in it. So you get that kind of thing, right? That is my own theory and philosophy. And you don't have to like me for it. Because you don't owe me anything. Somebody like me is somebody who is like, I'm not entitled. You do not owe me anything. Here you get. But that is just my view, okay? Or if you feel different, it's okay. Just use the link in the, you'll see the link in the description. Copy the link. Go to a quiet place in your room. And join us. Okay? But I will advise you, when you join, like if the spirit leads you to join us, for your own sake, you would have to comport yourself, or else your size stay here. It no matter how old you are or how young you are, I have the size for everybody here. So I want you to remember that, for our sake. But you don't need to be ranting in the comment. Just use the link and join us, okay? Come and tell us what we don't know. And for the early birds, such a pleasure to see your faces again. And if you can hear me very clearly, I wouldn't mind if you can just do like this so that I can know that brilliant. I can know that the connections are all working. And just a quick one to our viewers, okay? Sometimes people feels like maybe it's either I am talking over somebody who is talking or they are talking over me. Let me tell you this. As you can see, everybody is joining from all over the world. Everyone's network is different. Now, the whole connection and the processing of the whole connection and then streaming them out still borders on network connections and all of that. Sometimes they might pick the voice late, which simply means that if they can't easily hear me, we may talk over ourselves. So it may be a little bit awkward. Just know that it is not mostly intentional. All right. The only time I would likely try to kind of talk to stop someone is if they are running out of time. That is when I call your name. And when I call your name, it's just me saying, oh, you are running out of time now. We need to go to the next person. And then you can quickly round it up. Okay. So I have to say this because some people find this like, some said it is rude. Yeah, that's what somebody told me. They said, Maiyegun, there is something you always do. It is very rude. Speaking over your guest. I don't speak over people. If the network or the connection detect and everything have any little delay, please, I think I should advise us ahead of time, okay? Just think about how many things being connected right now. Just to make a single presentation on your screen. Think about that. So having said that, once again, my dear parliamentarians, for those who are already here, and I believe those who are ready for us. So tonight, what we'll do is that, like I said, you are free to speak your own, whatever comes to your mind that you want to talk about. All right, sir? And then you have just 5 minutes. But in a case where I sort of exchange conversation with you, which means I must have used part of your time, right? You probably will get an extension for your time. But the moment I raise my hand like that, that would be me telling you to, if you can round it up, that would be great, so that we can go to the next person. All right. So our time is 5 minutes each. So once again, thank you so much. Jude, I don't know what happened. So your camera is off. I bet you're probably trying to get something done. For those who are here already, Tone, sir, I am going to start with you because I saw you came in first among all others who came later, okay? So you are going to go first tonight. And after you will be Sanat, Nathaniel Rodney. So, Sir Rodney, that will be you next. After Tone, then I'm going to go to Dr. Agbede, okay? E-boy, there is a way you can possibly shut the curtain behind you, all right? Or if you can face the light, instead of the light coming behind you. We couldn't see your face. You're like an anonymous. So if you can fix that, that would be great. So you are going to go after Dr. Agbede. Then Raymond Zaza, you are going to go after E-boy, okay, please. And then Jude is back. I am so sorry. Jude was also one of the first early callers. Now Jude would have to go after Raymond Zaza. So as we kick off, and as the speaker of this parliament, I hereby declare the first People's Parliament 2024 open. So, Tone, sir, over to you.
Hi, Maiyegun. Good evening.
Good evening.
Let me just touch a bit on the TB Joshua thing. The TB Joshua thing is a very complicated and a huge thing. And Nigerians, more or less Africans, we kind of judge and we kind of pass judgment when allegation is made. These are just mere allegations. I personally am speaking from a neutral point in view. I don't think from what I've heard, because I've tried to, I watched the documentary and I watched the other comments that other people have made, people that have been with him, other neutral people, persons like me and all that, and heard from the church. What I think is not true. Those things are not true. And the question now to my mind is, why at this point in time in history that BBC have done this on an African pastor? There are more pressing things that we want to know the truth. Like, for instance, the Tollgate massacre, we have all the proofs. We are still, APC and their cohorts are still telling us that it never happened. They are hard facts and all that. Why don't BBC do that sort of thing? What does it profit our nation at this point in time about TB Joshua, whether TB Joshua was a rapist or he isn't a rapist? The man is gone. The church is still thriving. People have come out and say they've been impacted. Their life has been impacted in one way or the other, possibly through his ministry. So who am I to say he's a fake pastor or true? And by the way, let me just correct another lie in that video. That lady is not his daughter. Let's just get this right. It's not his daughter. The other lady has got history of lies. The pastor himself, the Agomo guy and all that, was left because he fell in love with a woman. And in the course of time, the woman died and all that, and he just went colo-mental, if you want to put it. So there's a lot of things I wanted to touch, but I don't want to take all my time since I've got only 5 minutes. Let me just move over to the Betty Gate thing. I think Tinubu, they have decided to use better as a sacrificial lamb in order to pursue legitimacy. The government is full of lies and lies and lies. They're all band of thieves. Unfortunately, it's like when you go on a heist, on an armed robbery operation, when the police comes and all that, instead of being caught, they will rather sacrifice the least member of the gang. And that's what they've done to Betty. They just threw her under the bus and sacrificed her just to show us that that the government is legit and all that. I don't care. APC and their cohorts are still criminals and thieves. They're not driving Nigeria anywhere. They're not taking Nigeria anywhere. They are going to appoint another thief again that will take the place of Betta Edu. And that thief is going to do a better job. He will make sure that they don't get caught. So even if we start to investigate, which is the sort of thing I even expect BBC to be, if they want to get into investigative journalism, to find out the bottom of it. But because this elaborate scam is so wide and all that, I believe the British government has got some, I've got something to gain with the instability in our country. So all this thing about one pastor, one doing this, see, that is a private life. If he has really done those things and we do not know, and his line is left for him and his God. That's my thing. Rising Fulani jihadist thing and all that. I believe there's an agenda. There's just an agenda that we are all of us are just sleeping and all that. There's a grand agenda, and we're here cursing out each other, fighting each other. No, there's a grand agenda. So that's my take for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tone, for that. I really, really appreciate. So let's go to the next parliamentarian, which is going to be Nathaniel Rodney. Sir Rodney, please.
Good evening, Maiyegun, and good evening to the parliamentarians tonight. Maiyegun, Happy New Year once again. And thank you for the great job that you are doing. Let me quickly talk on this TB Joshua issue. It takes a personal conviction to either believe or not to believe. For me, as a person, I never believe in TB Joshua. I never. And every pastor that I've associated with TB Joshua, this character also may be found in them. So for BBC to come and start telling us this issue, I have known about this because there's a lot of testimonies how people have been victims of this TB Joshua stuff. And don't forget that one former president of Ghana was a victim of TB Joshua. Sonny Okosun was a victim of TB Joshua. Dana Mokachi, a lot of them, even Buhari, late Buhari was his customer. There's something that was going on there that has been wrong right from time. And nobody should counter that. But people's faith will determine the side they will be. And BBC coming to come and to tell us what is going on. Now, it's like they want to divert the attention of Nigerians towards this stuff so that Nigerians cannot think well about their proper situation. And let me go back on this. This same Bible the British government or British people gave to us is not a completed Bible. And most of the things they wrote in that place, because I have studied the Bible for over 30 years, most of the things they wrote there, those things are not correct. They are not correct. If we want to get the genuine Bible, we have to go to Ethiopia, because Ethiopia is one of the African nations whom these people do not loot. So we'll go back to Ethiopia Bible and see the facts there. Let me quickly say this. Do you know that the Suez Canal in this place in Egypt, that river, these people, they are passing out with boats. That is what they used to separate Africa from the Middle East. Africa down to the Middle East was Africa. So they redrew the map and they hid all these things. And today, we don't even know where that belongs to us. Even the Jerusalem they are talking about, it was a land that was occupied by African people, black people. These people they call Jews today, they are the people that get converted to be Jewish. They are not the original Jewish. The original Jewish are we from Nigeria, Yorubas, Igbos, and so on. And people should ask Oni of Ife, this thing on his forehead, he should tell us why is he wearing a cap that look like Pharaoh. So most of these things they hid it from us so that we will never know. And what they do is that they use the Bible and Quran to exchange their colonial affairs, to give us a narrative which we will believe, and to forget about the evil they did against us during colonial time. I'm not saying that Bible is not real, but we should go beyond what they gave us, because this one they gave us, it was professors from that university from UK, Oxford, and the rest that wrote this one they gave to us. So it's not part. Most of it is part of it is not real. So I will quickly speak on this invasion by these Fulanis. As some of our people has already said in your program, like that man that spoke before, the weak people from the Yoruba side, that is what these Fulanis are using to penetrate the Yoruba side, because their agenda is that they want to take over everything, and Tinubu is playing that game for them now. I saw Bajamila was praying in Saudi Arabia. Let Bajamila tell us what is written in that stone. I'm not saying it to defame their religion. What is written in that stone? So after he prayed and finished his prayer, he go back to Aso Rock, while the Fulanis who are being inspired by that stone in a perverse manner, they will be killing Yoruba people, killing every person to take over our farmland. So this religion they give to us, a lot of our people are sick from it, whether they are pastors, whether they are imams, whether they are politicians. They use it to twist our head for we not to be able to focus and to know what is wrong with us and correct it. Rather, how can Bajamila be praying in Mecca before he gets to Fulani are invading our community, killing our people? So it's a complete perversion. So that is that. On this better Edu and so on, Tinubu government inherited Buhari government. So what do we expect? What do we expect? So use your platform as you continue to use it to say the truth. And a lot of us went back on this truth. That is the only thing that will save us. All our leaders, whether they are kings, whether they are politicians, all of them are in compromise with the slave masters. And we are all being slave. And let me quickly say this. The most dangerous thing for all is that they are already escaped.
No, don't do that. See, there is something I'm going to say to all of us, because sometimes a lot of us don't even know that time can be very, very fast like that, okay? See, just know that once you have what you want to say the first 5 minutes, you may have a grace of extra, maybe a minute or two. It's just to make sure that more people have a chance of joining, all right? I understand that it may not be enough for what you really, really want to say, okay? So if you have to arrange them before you join, that would be great, all right? Or please, the moment I kind of say something, I'm expecting you to round up. That is not the moment I'm expecting. I mean, I do expect you to remember anything after that. That should be you. You know what I mean? Please, I beg of all of us, okay? So that we can have enough people to contribute tonight. So I think it is now the turn of Dr. Agbede, I believe. Sorry, who is next? Doctor. Right. Nat, I know you can hear me. I am so sorry, all right? Because if I don't do that, other people are going to say, oh, but you let him, you know what I mean? Like, please, I apologize, by the way. So, Doctor, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. Please.
Okay. God bless you. Maiyegun, God bless you. Yeah,
Yes.
once again, Happy New Year, Maiyegun. Happy New Year 2024 to you and to all the members of the Temple of Truth. Happy New Year. And also to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, too. Happy New Year. And I will use this medium to say, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have indeed started this year very well. This better edu issue and Olubumi Tunji Ojo issue, both of them must be fired. MUST must be fired. Both of them must be fired. And if truly you, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, wanted to curb corruption, because this year, 2024, is a year of no nonsense, a year of a corruption-free nation, Nigeria, a year of corruption-free nation, Nigeria. And you, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, if you want to show examples, therefore, you have to come and clear your name, clear your name before the United States Senate, Congress. Because then the position Atiku Abubakar got from CSU last year, October, indicating that two people using one social security number, which is a grave offense. Two people using one social security number. And if you think you, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, are truly a good and honest leader, wanted to curb corruption, you have to come, as a matter of must, come and appear before the United States Congress to come and clear your name. If truly you wanted to curb corruption this year, 2024. And for full details, call 800-225-5324. Once again, call the FBI for full details. 1-800-225-5324. God bless you and God bless Nigeria. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Agbede, and incoming senator as well. Now, let me say this quickly. That is why we call it the People's Parliament. Okay? I have no say or control over the thought of people and what people have. I don't know what you have in mind. Do you get that now? So, only you know what you want to say or share with everyone, and you are welcome to. It's a safe place. And when I say safe place, can I apologize? I mean, not even apologize, John. Can I appeal to all of you, brethren, who are watching there, that even if you feel like somebody is not saying what you agree with, can we not sort of like begin to keep out there, attack them, because they can read your comments. Do you understand? And I know this place is a very harsh place. A lot of you have no idea how I just probably came by to have all these people mostly on my side. These are not easy people, okay, to satisfy. So if you want to enjoy the comradeship and all of that, so you have to possibly, I'm not saying you should say things to make them happy, because truth is not to make anybody comfortable. But I am appealing to all of you who are watching, okay? The parliamentarians are just like yourselves. People who feels like, this is something you should know. And don't blame me for it. Don't say, you're going to take, no, I can't take anybody out. It is a safe place. Can we make it safe? I don't like doing this, but I saw how some of you were reacting the other time. Nuisance lele. Don't call any parliamentarian nuisance, okay? Please. Make it safer, and you know what I mean, like. And once again, it is ideal. When I say it is Baba, is everything all right, sir? Okay. So you didn't know we could see that, right? Don't worry. So now let's go back to the next person. Prince Jajaman, we are coming to you, but I think it is E-Boy. E-Boy, I'm glad that you are able to get back. I can imagine the battle of trying to fight the sunlight or what have you, right? But we'll manage it, okay? Please, brother.
Yeah. I greet every parliamentarian. I greet Maiyegun. I greet you, Muslim. Thank you very much for being live to us, especially we Nigerians, we that are still talking here, as I can say. And I want to greet everybody that has been part of Maiyegun Diary from the onset. I'm glad to be one of them. I lost my phone, but I must be part of this show. I'm streaming from my laptop. I want to apologize for the quality of the video. So let me quickly go to my point. Maiyegun, we want you and your team member to help us, to help we Yoruba. I want to start from home. I'm Yoruba. Forget the name. So I want to suggest something like a backup for some all the Yoruba race, because what I'm seeing, I'm in Nigeria. What I'm seeing here might be different from what other people are seeing. I'm seeing a mental degradation in Nigeria, and with this kind of mental, according to research, with this kind of mental status, we can only move to the next stage, which is zombieism. And that stage is being complemented by the religious stuff that we have been talking about. They are the fuel house that is fueling this dogmatism in Nigerian people. So I will suggest that we begin to look to the aspect of like backing up some few people who knows that who some Yoruba people who still have their mental, mental brain, because that's the mentality is what we want to deal with, not even the physical body. So a lot of us are still walking around the space of this country, but we are not there anymore, actually. So I would suggest maybe begin to look at the idea of saving some people. And saving some people has been a culture for generation to generation. Yoruba is a great tribe, and I've made research. I don't just believe, but for many people, I've made research. We share almost some traits with the Egyptian, from their pronunciation, from the fused pronunciation, if we go into research. So we are not just a tribe that we can just overlook like that. It's not a tribe that everyone can just look like that. And these people are not stopping. These people are not stopping their business. So from the history, backing up of races has been happening, even from the time of in the Biblical, what the Bible people know as Noah. But we know that it's a backup of some people when the war want to destroy, they make a plan to save some species of race and some things. It has been a culture, because I don't believe this place is not going to blow up. I don't just believe. Some people might be saying it's windy. That's some pastor might be saying is a windy nation that is going to be wind. And if the wind blow, it blow people, it blows stuff up, it blow brains up, blow ideas up, blow business up, blow life fortunes up, and their effect, their cause and of effect of all these things. Nigerian people are trying. Those who still keep their mental status healthy are really trying. Those who know that Jesus Christ never going to come ever to come and save them. Those who are running around looking for salvation in practical life, who knows that nobody is going to save them. They are few. I think maybe I can get this and talk to you. I begin to make plans to save some few people who know who still have this Yoruba mentality.
It is quickly being the first person, I'm going to probably just have steal part of your time to interact on this. If I get you very clearly, right? It is time to begin to give support to those who still have their mindset, their mind intact before because the number of those who still have their mind intact are reducing day by day. And if things continue like this, even those who sound all right today, who want things done, who are looking for salvation, they may also fall by day. So, something that is going to happen this year, E-Boy, and I will wish for grace, good health, as long as we have both. There's going to be some mass mobilization this year. And then when it comes to people like yourself and many like that scattered all over the place, especially in Yoruba land, with the Yoruba Union that I'm part of, by the way, right? There's going to be some significant, what do you call it? Some significant resources that will go into helping, keeping people who indeed are also going to help us effect some of what I don't want to say much. I get your message. You don't need to say much, bro. All right.
Okay.
So there's time for talking is over. I said that last night. I said I want to make myself available now. I want to make myself physically available now. Do you understand? Where people like yourself, who have been for years now making efforts to establish contact, because I personally believe that with this platform and what we have actually achieved through this platform, which means we can still achieve great stuff more, right? We can build that networking this time. And I believe that if I am not involved in ideas that I continue to share, then why should I blame others for not doing them? So if our idea is so good about everything we've been talking about, so why don't we carry them out ourselves? That's why I won't say much, right? There's something to look at.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would be happy at the end of the day if you can save some few Ekiti, some few Jebu, some few Oshogbo, some few Badon, some of them can save the back in case if everything. And before I go, my people now, the BBC, they are just being hypocrites. I expect them to have released all this thing when the man is still alive and they can stand up to answer for all these questions. All this after post-mortem things, I'm not really into it. But I don't want everybody listening to forget that Nigeria is an animal farm. If you have not read Animal Farm, please go back and study it. You know, the person who wrote Animal Farm did that after before they established Nigeria. So go and read it and compare it to the situation. So we need to begin to make a backup plan. I thank Maiyegun and thank everybody watching that he gets what I'm saying. He has always been a brilliant person that I've looked forward to, and I'm happy that I have somebody like Maiyegun in the front. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Respect, man. Respect, man.
Okay. Yeah. Stay safe. Okay. E-boy, you have a good one, Baba. So indeed, I even have a good news for us. All right. I am going to be signing the lease agreement for that Maiyegun's Diary, Politico's the Temple of Truth, physical office in Glasgow. I'm going to be signing that tomorrow. And I have been cleared to take over the place from the 1st of February. I'm going to tell you a lot about that, okay? So this time around this year, we will go physical. And when I say physical, for those who probably have been asking, like, let's do this, let's do that, and all of that. Yeah, we'll do a lot this time, all right? And they will feel it. But more not to talk, eh? So I'm going to go straight to Raymond Zaza before I come back to Jude. And then Prince Jejeman. I have seen you there for a while. I don't know how I missed you. However, the Prince, you are going to go after Jude. I've got Touch, who is with us tonight as well. So I'm going to get him. He's going to go after Prince Jejeman. Please remind me. Sometimes when people talk for the next 20 minutes, I forget the numbers, okay? So the tallies. So Raymond Zaza will go now. Jude will go next. Prince Jejeman will go after Jude. Tosh will go after Prince Jejeman. The Mazi, Prince, you are going to go after Prince Jeje. After Tosh. Meanwhile, I also have honorable parliamentarian, Kenny. Kenny is with us tonight again. So Kenny will be the one to hold the torch for others who are going to join us later, especially those who haven't put on their camera, but they are waiting in the background. So let's get on with it. Again, Raymond Zaza, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Maiyegun.
Sir, it's great to see you again. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, boss.
Bless
MG.
You. Yes, sir.
I just want to go straight to the point because I have been waiting, trying to get over this thing. By the way, please, my regards to everybody in the house and viewers too. Kenny, if you can remember me, my high up. Okay. See, you see the issue number one. You see, TB Joshua, since from day one, when I was a kid, I was born and brought up in Jos. And TB Joshua, people don't even see him. They go on TV, his posters, and put it. Me, I was like, any man of God, a preacher that has this kind of influence, like it was above. I don't even know how to put it, but just to put it in a short form, believe you me, I don't want to hurt anybody's feeling in this house, but from day one, I never believed in that man. But I want to take you guys back to when did he die? TB Joshua passed away if I'm not mistaken, sometime in 5th of June, 2021. That is exactly 2 years before this revelation or documentary is coming out. All right. Now, all those people that were interviewed, even though there's a lady, they mentioned that it was his daughter, how he treated her for confronting him. I watched the video for confronting him and all that, and he locked her up. So my question is, I don't think if he hypnotized them all. So this man rape you and do all sorts of things, he flogs you every day. So you mean that you don't go out of the compound for a day for 14, 10, 15 years? And you can just walk away and run away for your dear life? You claim to be working as a slave, and you know you can run away for your freedom, but you don't do it. So I just want to say, I don't know if you people remember how Gaddafi died. BBC can always come up with a documentary and put it out there for people to believe. It's not everything that BBC come out and say that. Me, personally, I don't even follow those guys. I don't believe in them. So I don't want to go into how Gaddafi passed away and so many other documentaries they did. They always do any documentary that the BBC are going to do that is not going to uplift the British society. It will never go out there. I don't know if you know about that. I don't want to stop that. Now, go on the Fulani issue. My brother, this Fulani issue is an issue that, as that our brother said, that guy from Sierra Leone, right? Liberia.
Yeah, yes.
He mentioned exactly the northern Muslims were indoctrinated with a different, highly extreme form of Islam. I love Islam. I love Islamic religion, but I hate 75% of Muslims, because Muslims are the followers of Islam. Most of them are doing, like, they don't even know how, especially the Muslims, with no offense to anybody. There is something that is normal in other Islamic countries, but if that didn't happen in Nigeria, it's a different ball game. Please, I want to stop there. I don't want to go further. And next, I just want to have my point here so that I won't have any too much issue. And if you see what is going on right now about the Beta Edu saga, please, guys, this is not the first time. There are so many scandals, financial scandals, that has happened during the Buhari, the APC government since 2015. I don't know if you guys remember when there was a fraudulent scandal, of huge financial scandal with the former humanitarian and the finance minister. They did that. The Senate committee to investigate that issue was supposed to go to Minister of Finance. That department that contained those files caught on fire. And I know Minister of Finance. I went to school in Abuja. I went to school in Turuwada, Zone 4. So that Ministry of Finance, they have their own internal, their own personal fire truck. So like, how can you tell me that before the firefighter could come and quench the fire, everything was got into fire? You and I know that investigation went and nothing came out of it. We are still here today. I'm not going to mention names. There is the former EFCC boss that was caught, and so many other financial irregularities during his government. What happened? He left. The one that pains me so much, I have a friend, his dad was a police officer. During the pension, the pension boss that went away with the pension money, he told me that, in fact, it was even his father were one of the people that were even guiding him after he went away with their own pension, the money that was supposed to pay to them when they retire, and those ones that have retired, he went away with them. That it was even one of his father's friends that were guiding this man that took the money. It's so funny. I don't know if you understand. And the next one is that Do we forget about the slogan, join APC and all your sins will be forgiven? You see this beta edu, this beta edu is just a scratch. It's going to go away very soon and people will continue normal because there are so many huge financial scandals that are heavier and bigger than that, and nothing came up out of it. So I don't know if I exhausted my time because I don't want to go through. I don't want my ego to interrupt because I don't feel good when you interrupt somebody because we're trying to manage time here.
That's why
at this point, I raise my case in this issue. Thank you guys, and I appreciate it.
God bless you there, Zaza Baba. I appreciate this, and I hope I see you next time. Okay, you have a good
yeah.
Thank you. So Raymond Zaza dropped his there, and just like that, just say your thing as you feel it. A lot of people will tell you, no, we don't agree with you, this or that. Just do your thing, because there are those who agree with you in the audience as well, and that's why it is called parliament, which means everybody will speak their mind. There are those who are going to be for and against and why. So now let's go further. I'm going to go to Jude now. Dear Jude, one more thing. I think I have already shared this slot anyway. Okay, yeah, we are good. Now, Jude, over to you, bro. How are you?
My Gio, Mr. Maiyegun.
How are you, Baba?
Happy New Year to you and my fellow parliamentarian. Happy New Year to everybody. It's nice to see you guys again. First, what I want to say is that concerning the Batedu or whatsoever they call her, we'll all know the end game. Maiyegun, have you forgotten the Stella Odwa Sega as a representative also? The bulletproof nonsense of 200 and something million. Is she not a serving senator that served 2 tenure? The crazy thing is that history keeps repeating itself in the jungle called Nigeria, and the people residing there I don't want to use the word dumb because they are acting dumb to picture it. And a lot of people are like, wow, Tinubu is working. He just wants to prove to the world that it's working. He's doing no crap. He's just trying to validate his whatever he's doing there. I really don't like talking about that bullshit. Regarding the TV Joshua Sega, when I saw the video, I wasn't actually so surprised at all. Those that know me really well, I always tell people, I'm not a religious person. I'm not a religious. For the fact that I was born a Christian doesn't really mean I'm a religious person. You've actually your 50% of your burden as a Nigerian is over the day you get rid of religion. The share binding most of them together is just this religion that the political class are using, and the pastorpreneurs in Nigeria, they are using the gullible people to enrich themselves. We saw the cathedral that was built in Akwa Ibom also. They are making boast of building 120,000 capacities. When was the last time any factory was erected there? They're not even thinking of that. So the pastorpreneurs are working in hands with the political class just to improvise the people, make them very poor so that they can sow more seed. During the election time, we'll give them the vision. God said this, God said that. And at the end of the day, everything continues. I just say I'm not surprised about TV Joshua Sarah, but on the long run, we Africans, we are very religious people, and that is one of the tools that the colonial masters are actually using against us. I just want to leave the people with just one take tonight. As long as you're in Africa, you are being controlled by some global elites who sold you and shared you among themselves in Berlin. And the way they are doing this bullshit they're doing, it's divided into three arms. They control the finance, they control the terrorism and your military, I call it terrorism and your military, because they create terrorism and they use your money to fight the same terrorism they create. It's by their looting your money and money laundering and all that nonsense. And they also control the religion. The finance that control you guys in Africa is the Britain, the UK. The forces that control the Africas is the Vatican City. And the military, they said that creates the terrorism for you and use your military to fight it is the Pentagon, the US. So that's why it's a connected chain. Rome controls them using the Bible. Britain control them using their money and the stupid money, international money policy they're giving them. And America are always ready to sell weapons for you to kill yourself, as long as they're making their money out of it, as long as they are looting your resources that they don't give a fuck about. So it's really very painful. As I've always said, anytime I come here, we are the ones who are going to liberate ourselves. And when I mean we are the one, I mean those of us at home. Mazin Nadekano said it. Once you guys are ready, take to the streets. There is no way these people are going to, there's no way where 10,000 persons are more than 200 million persons. It's not possible at all. I believe anytime Nigerians, especially Africans, are ready to take back their country, first of all, they just have to get rid of the so-called religion and whatsoever the political class are using against them. After getting rid of the religion, next thing they're going to do, they're going to tell themselves, our ancestors make some mistakes, our parents make some mistakes. I don't want to make same mistakes for my kids. It has to stop. It has to stop. The pleasures we're enjoying over here in Europe was the sacrifice their parents made for them, not even their ancestors. And none of them got their freedom without fighting war. It's always war. Life must be lost. Sacrifice must be paid. You can't have pleasures without labor. So whenever we are ready to take back our countries, they're going to give us. We're going to upset them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jude, for that submission. And it's such a pleasure to see you again. Okay, so thank you very much. And
thank you.
Have a good one. Okay. So let's, I've added 2 other parliamentarians to this tonight, but I haven't really shared this law with them. But Kenny, who is holding the, somehow I think we've lost Kenny. So we'll wait for Kenny to be back. Well, I've got Prince Jeje Man before going to Tosh tonight. So let's take the Prince on. The Prince. Prince Jeje Man, can you hear us? Your voice is not coming out. If you have any headphones on, you might need to take it off. We can't hear you. No, we can't hear you. Okay. Or is it just me? Prince Jeje Man, you might have to like go out and come back in, okay? I think my own voice is loud. Yeah, you can now come back in. That's the Prince Jeje Man. So he will fix his connection there and possibly rejoin us now. So I'm just going to go straight to Tosh. Am I still? It's not. So you, I'm just going to go straight to I hope you are not the same for this to join this, the same one you are using. And if you can hear me, you need to mute the broadcast. I told you to probably be in a quiet room if possible, Baba. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Great, sir. So you need to.
All right.
I was here when I thought it was echoing, so I was like, "Oh, you might keep one for the other."
All right.
I'm going to please. Your shot.
So I won't take much of your time. I just want to speak concerning this TB Joshua case, because the religiosity of Nigerians on social media is so appalling. So I just need to speak on something like this. Back in 1996, when I was growing up, I remember that there was a program called Iririaye. It's usually translated as maybe A Strange Things by Kolawole. And at some point in time, I think he called upon TB Joshua. He had a case of molestation and as well wizardry and witchcraft. So for good 1 year, he was being called upon to Radio Nigeria to come and defend himself. So that was when I first knew him, and the man was so scary, and the way he looks, like before he died, he looked mature and all that. But then the picture of what he was carrying, and also the manner and the motive at which he does his healing, it's kind of barbaric. So he was being called upon, and this man didn't show up. That was when I knew something was wrong. To fast forward, like 2001, I think he shot up in fame, and he became so popular. Then because then that back then he used to speak Yoruba, it wasn't so fluent in English. So I think in 2001 he really, went back to, put things, one or two things together. So he was so fluent, not really so fluent, but that was when international people started coming, and he grew bigger and bigger and bigger. But then I knew like something was wrong. But to cut the whole story short, it's like when I watched the documentary, I wasn't surprised. Not that actually it's not something that, it's not a man that I've judged, you understand, but that's how cults operate though. But I looked at one thing. There was this part 3 about the video which I watched. If people are so conversant about it, when his guest house collapsed and 63 people died, there was something that he said that people should take note of. I think in the church service thereafter, that was when he said, "Oh, the enemy is at it again. They are looking after my life." That's an aeroplane. He created a conspiracy theory that an aeroplane hovering around his guest house building, that they threw a bomb down to the building. That was what caused the collapse of the building, and that was a conspiracy theory. If you go and check the CCTV camera, you see that nothing happened. The whole thing collapsed based on substandard materials that he used to build that building. That was what happened. And there was a investigative engineering company called Colonial in Lagos. They did the investigation, and they came up with the result that the building was built based on substandard materials. But conflicting stories. He said plane hovered around this building and it threw bomb down and they blew up that place. But try to check it out. Is that really a man of God? That's the question that you should ask yourself. So the religiosity in Nigeria is so appalling. Like I said earlier on, I can't really wrap those things around my head. It's so, I don't know. Sometimes I say like this is why we have leaders that we're having today. If we can be so much carried away by such people like this, how much more politicians? So it's so painful to see the level of intellect that we have in that country, and it's quite unfortunate. Just to chip in this last one, there was a man called Ravi Zachariah. People keep asking, why is it that he died? People are now coming. Of course, if he's alive, do you think all those people will come out and do it to his face? Do you know how many presidents this man was controlling? There's a man called Ravi Zachariah. Google it. Ravi Zachariah. He's an Indian Canadian televangelist. He did the same thing too. But you know what happened in the Western world? After this man died, there was a revelation that he he patronized prostitutes in Thailand. You know what they did? All these pastors, his wife, they surrendered and they changed the name of the ministry. They didn't go back and forth and say, "Oh, he's a man of God, he's a true man of God," and all that. They accepted it. That is how a sane society should be. We need to be investigative in all that. It's not just religious. Thank you so much for
It's so much, Tosh, for that. That's so refreshing, I have to say. Thank you very much, Baba. You have a good one, okay? So that's what the parliament does. You get to see a lot of people, giving a fresh perspectives from different angles, and you're going to sit down there and be like, okay, I never, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, Prince JJ is back, and I hope it works well now. The Prince, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Did you have this strange earpiece on or something?
No, I'm not on earpiece. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear, please.
Oh, lovely.
Go on.
Yeah, greetings, everyone. Happy New Year, everyone in the house. Special respect to Maiyegun General. Yeah, where I'm gonna start this way. I'm gonna start this way by saying good morning to BBC. BBC, they are bringing this documentary at this very time. It's good to be late than to be absent anyway. But I'm saying good morning to them, even though where I am is night by this time. Okay, because we Nigeria have a president now that they congratulated, who is a drug lord and certificate forger. They congratulated him, and he's the one that is ruling Nigeria now. And they didn't start their investigation there, and the whole Nigeria now are suffering, and there's a dead silence from them. So I agree them good morning once more. Nevertheless, Nnamdi Kanu have said it. Nnamdi Kanu said that God is going to disgrace TB Joshua. TB Joshua, I know him very well. Far back, even people around me, I used to tell them, people that are being deceived by his miracle, I do tell them this man is an evil man. Okay, the building that collapsed, a lot of people died there, and that was buried, and the building was supposed to carry maybe about 2-story building, but we told them to be building to 7-story stories, and that the building collapsed, and being Nigeria as a crime scene, it was covered because the politicians who are supposed to look after the masses, they are accomplices. Whenever they see a church, they use church as one of their bait, because any mega church in Nigeria, they need them during the election. You see all of them going there to speak in tongue. They will all be repentant politicians. That aside, another thing I want to say today is about, I want to advise the Nigerian army to call their boys to order, to call them into the barrack, especially all these ones that are coming to social media to threaten Nigerians. I saw one of the so-called repentant Boko Haram. He was threatening this guy, black man, or so. What is it? That man that went to
very dark man.
Very dark man that risked his life to do that kind of documentary. For the people to be aware of their surrounding. All he gets in return is them to come out and start threatening him. And I believe that the senior officers, they are aware of all these things. The other one threatened Sowolu the other day, even though that he's a irreparable governor. But notwithstanding, they don't have where they belong is to the barrack and to protect the territorial integrity of the nation. But Nigeria is a crime scene. They've been killing civilians, mistaking bombing the civilians, and they see how they got to come on the social media to be threatening Nigerians who are taxpayers. Their senior officer never tell them that the money that are being used to pay them salary is a Nigerian taxpayers' money. You see, so they should call them to order. They do travel. Those senior officers that do travel to UK, they never see any soldier on the street. They go to America, they never see any soldier on the street. Not to talk of threatening the citizen. It's never done. Anyone that ever tried that, we see himself inside there, if not expelled, or see himself inside that room immediately. So they should caution their men. So finally, Wike, who is boasting of taking picture anywhere he goes, people come to around him to take picture. I want to call him to try and take pictures with IPOB. It's when he have done that 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 yes, people are really admiring him because the mother in Obibo is nobody will never forget it, and Nigerians will never forget it. They are the citizens of Nigeria. They are Biafrans, even though they are still attached to this country. Call Nigeria today. Thank you, my good general, for the wonderful work you are doing.
God bless you, the prince. Thank you so much. And because you mentioned with the Wike, the Igbos, the Biafrans, is why I'm going to say this before we continue, okay? So that's Prince Jejeman, ladies and gentlemen. He always never misses the People's Parliament on Maiyegun's diary, Politico, if he can, always, right? However, I saw a clip where this issue of politics of River State, where Asari Doku Dump was like, where a Wike is Igbo. So Igbos have been governors, Ijos have been governor, Igbos have been governor, Amechi is Igbo, where a Wike is Igbo. Peter Odili is Igbo. And I'm like, is Azari drunk? I thought they were not Igbos, and it was just the IPOB trying to want to force them to make them Igbo. Azari Kilon, go on. Sorry guys, 1 second.
Because the Mboli people, the Eleme people had joined Ogoni, we would have been 4 nationalities. We have the Jaws, we have the Igbos, we have the Bantu Ogonis. The Jaw people had been governors. The Igbos had produced 2 governors, Odili, 3 governors, Odili, Amechi, and Wike. That was my clamor, that justice should be done. But when I found out that all the
I don't know if any of you have seen that too, right? And another one. Some people said that everyone around Atifku, they were just around him for the quick cash and quick buck, and their own opportunity to get close to the Nigeria's Commonwealth. And they were right. PDA, PC, they are all the same. And to those of you who are working, they are deceiving you to begin to think about, what do you call that thing again? Opposition parties coming together to face Tinubu. A lot of you are going to be led to the slaughter or slaughterhouse by the people that are telling you that they want to join together and do opposition to Tinubu. You remember by Nabawa La Abibawa, that Tifku spokesperson. The guy left PDP, joined APC to work for Bukwari's APC. After 5 years, Atiku offered him money. And it felt like, after 4 years, it felt like maybe Atiku would pay more. And he could become a minister or special advisor to the president directly. Bukwari didn't give him appointments. So he joined Atiku. And since 2019, since 2023 came, Bawa was everywhere. And until this afternoon, when the guy go Dobale. So that when they tell you, say, opposition have to come together if they want to. Who you want defeat? Who you want do elections? Even now when you have election that you have people to defeat. If you make it to 2027 and you decide to go and participate in their charade, this time around you will not vote at all. You will see the result of your polling unit before they give you the ballot paper. Some of you have no idea anyway. So yeah, when the guy came down, he started speaking grammar.
Some of his ministers that were allegedly reported to have, committed infraction. Instead of protecting them, he asked that the due course of law should have his own course. He suspended somebody without wasting time. That, to me, is impressive because it's about the people. Secondly, there has been this outcry that the government is bloated and the rest. Yesterday, he introduced a policy that reduced the cost of governance. And today, he told me it is just the beginning. There are many more decisions of government that will reduce the cost of governance. What have we been talking about as citizens? If you don't have personal grudge against someone, if it is on policy issue, when policies are going correctly, and what I'm saying apart from today that I'm talking here, you all need to visit my Twitter page. In the last few days, I have been expressing my surprise and appreciation to the president for the decision he's taking. So this is not about political party. And you need to know that, like I said, I was with him before I left. And I was doggedly committed to him. I told him today, I am committing to play my part to support your administration. And I have no apologies to anybody.
You are back in APC?
I have no apologies. APC is a party. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is my motivation. If supporting him will take me to APC, so be it.
Congratulations.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Now, Tiff Kupi will be that too. They say Tiff Ku money. Share you get. Now, because Tinubu suspended better edu. Now, that is a great economic policy of Tinubu that has now if they no use, if you no use your head, they will use you. Okay? Every time they are trying to tell you that they have found a solution on how to save Nigeria, they are taking you on a ride. And that is why this 2024, if there's any ride you want to go on, it should be the ride that will kick off the conversation around the breakup of Nigeria. Every one of them, they are jobber. And after elections, everybody go back to begin to eat. And when election is coming again, you begin to see them and you think, oh yeah, so person has, if you to buy again, now here I go there. Where I go to use your story to teach the coming generation. Because me personally, I believe that some of you, the adults, in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, you are like dry fish. There is nothing. You cannot claim ignorance of how Nigeria got to this stage. A lot of you, directly and indirectly, you contributed to it. So yeah, you are like dry fish. And I am never going to kind of try to straighten you. You will break. But you see those ones that are coming, we will not let you lie to them. Okay? Either through the religions of lies, manipulation, or through the politics of hatred, division, and all of that. We will not let you lie to them. So that one is enough. Life ambition. Now let me go back to my parliamentarians. I kind of kept them waiting, and I've actually have others too. So Mazi, there is this rule in the parliament. You probably must have heard it, okay? Whenever the parliament is either ongoing like this and we suddenly have a woman. So the house rule is that as gentlemen, we kind of always give them a pass before we continue. I know it's your shot. I know you're also a gentleman, sir. So I've got our lady here, which is Priscilla, and you can call her Celia for short. I kind of prefer to call her our lady. That's lady. Now, how are you tonight or this afternoon right there in the US, Celia? Ma'am. Don't worry, I'll help you on mute. Oh, you have to do it yourself. Sorry. Yes, you need to unmute your microphone.
Yeah, give me a second. I need to close the door. My kid just...
They found you. Okay, that's all right. I'll mute her. So, Mazi, I'll let you take your shot straight, okay? Oh, sorry, she's back, I think. Sorry about that. That was quick. Would you take your time to deal with them? Because I could give you that time, or Sure you get.
No, I've logged it on now.
Brilliant. So, the lady there, it is now your own shot. So let's take it from there. How are you?
Well, thank you very much, and I'm sorry, I'm joining. I've been in and out because I had to go and pick up my daughter from school. So,
That's
anyway,
brilliant. You can do with this as long as you are not going to, as long as you are not going to possibly get so mad at me when you see the video after. Oh, look at my face! I couldn't even like try to, As long as you are comfortable and then, as beautiful as you look, I am comfortable too. So, you're right.
okay. So, I want to comment on TB Joshua.
Okay, ma'am.
So, honestly, like yesterday, I started seeing all kinds of videos on YouTube about like some wrongs, things that happened, I believe, when he was alive. I don't want to judge, and I want to be very careful so that I'm not judging him in any way. Um, he's dead. I have respect for the dead. But at the same time, if these things are true, then where's our where do we go? I mean, because sometimes in life we have role models, right? Our parents could be our role models. Maybe my mom could be one, or my late father, stuff like that. But even if the spiritual um leaders, or what do I call them, if they cannot be trusted, where do we go from here? So that's my point, and I don't want to say it happened, and I don't want to say it did not happen because I was not there, and I'm not sure of a convincing. I don't have facts about it. Like one of the women that said maybe he molested her or something, the one that had problem with one of her eyes. I know I've heard about that like years ago when I was in Nigeria. Like it's been like a while when I heard about that. So I was like, she's one of the people I saw, I think, were interviewed among like the many people that came out like he did this to me, he did that. So I'm like, this woman still, some people said it's not true, some people said it's true. I mean, let's just be careful when we talk about the dead, you know what I mean? That's what we're all going to. So I mean, it's just like the saying, do not bite the finger that fed you, right? And we're human beings and we have respect for humanity. If he has done something wrong, let's talk about it. He has done something wrong, but that doesn't make me holier than him. The thing is, I should not do what he has done, and then we should give no room for such thing to happen. It's totally unacceptable. Any kind of bully or abuse of any kind, it's just not acceptable. Anybody that doesn't want to live like a human being, I mean, maybe should go and live in the bush or somewhere and let the people be. Because I mean, just the thought of like, why did God put us all together? Like different countries, different tribes, different ethnicity, people, beliefs, culture, religion, and stuff. Actually, different genders and stuff. So why didn't God said, oh, these certain people should live here and then these people should live there? Why did God allow us to all live together? God is not. God created us, and we human beings are just up to our egos and stuff. So let's not judge. At the same time, let's not embrace anything that is wrong. If the fact that God has put us together to live together in the same place, there should be much like we should be able to like live and respect each other. So I'm saying this because of like some people that were commenting in a negative way, like because someone said something. That's the
You have
person's opinion.
it is like sitting on the hot seat, Celia, all right, and then putting a face, right? Beside the voice also as well, right? However, it is like sitting on a hot seat where all eyes are on you. I want to hear what she has to say, and in the process, those who kind of feel exactly how you feel, you will be seeing their comments there too. But you see the way the human brains is wired, eh? It is only when negative things are said about us that is the one we will remember. Have you ever noticed that? It is in psychology, okay? For example, now, right? when let's say you have a party or you like having a party, right? And then everyone is kind of looking at you. Oh, you look so beautiful. Oh, I love your dress. Oh, I love your hair. I love this and that and that. And then somebody just come out and say, well, it's like it is too flabby. That is the only one you will remember. Among other good things everybody said about that, your dress, about your day, about your everything. Because you'll be wondering, why did that person say that?
Mm-hmm.
Did that person say, my dress is too, it is human brain. So never worry yourself about that. All right. Maybe
Yes,
this
sir.
time around, you should begin to read about others who actually like back up your position. And it is people's parliament. You always have to deal with that. So yeah, your point is made. And thank you very much for tonight, Celia. Okay.
Yeah,
I hope I'll
thank
hear
you.
from you again. So you go to the kids then. All right. You have a good one, ma'am. So that's Celia there. And you know, there's something people need to also learn. The intelligence of understanding people. Okay. Because I have seen people, you see, some of you may not understand. You know, I've kind of made this look so easy. A lot of people have made these things look so easy. If they tell you how they bridge the gap of negative comments, because you have to know that not everybody is going to accept or agree with what you are saying. Not because you are right, they are wrong, or because you are wrong, they are right. It is just what it is. People will tell you, no, I disagree with that. So the moment you believe that everyone have the right to disagree with you, even if they are wrong, the moment you have that, you don't need to do too many. You won't have to worry yourself because, and then you must also. It's just another one. No, you must also have the mentality that you can be wrong. Do you understand that? You must have the mindset, okay, the ability to know that you can be wrong. And there's nothing wrong in being wrong. Because the only moment you know you are wrong is when the right thing is said or the right is known. And what do? The moment the right thing is said and the wrong one you knew, you drop them. Now you hold on to the right one. That is you. So instead of holding on to it like, why did he say that? Because I don't even know how to. People, they abuse me here too. Well, it's just that over time, people have kind of seen that it is pointless. So what I do sometimes with negative comments is I just pick one, find a story around it, and just make it, give it a life of its own, give it a sort of the trajectory of its own. I know I'm not teaching you how to probably be a broadcaster like this. So no, that's not what I'm teaching. I am teaching how you can manage interacting with other people. Do you understand that now? You know, people that may be wrong due to their ignorance, and they are so loud in their ignorance, and there you are. So ability to kind of let people enjoy what they believe. And then you also should have the mentality, the capacity, right, to accept that you can be wrong. I can accept that I am wrong. I don't argue with people like that when I am wrong. But the only problem is that when I know that I am right, you would have to give me something no before you can convince me that I am wrong. But in most cases, people don't usually give me anything. They just disagree with me. I disagree with you, Maiyegun. Okay. Now, can you give us anything different from what I have just said? No, I don't. I just don't agree with you. I say, okay, that's fine. So you must have the ability to let people tell you that you are wrong. Okay. And there's no point in it. Just, okay, yeah, is that it? Oh, I didn't know that. And then you move on. When it comes to people just dropping comments to say things to you, you know, that's how you deal with it too. Just read all those good ones that people say, yeah, well done, good job. I am sorry that I keep taking some of your time, but I am also being very, what do you call it, timely too. So we should normally have a break at this point, okay? Because we have reached the first 2 hours of the parliament. So we are going to spend another half an hour. And the parliamentarians that are currently on, Let me bring others so that we can just round it up that way, okay? So these are other parliamentarians that are there. So, and these are those I'm going to wrap it up tonight with, okay? 5 minutes is our time, and I hope you would help me make that work. So the time is going to start now. So Mazi, I possibly have even said a lot that you probably just like, I'm just going to listen to him all the rest of the night.
Maiyegun.
Because the way you are lying down there, it's like...
No, I'm ready to listen to you from now till, forever. That's just that. And most times I've tried to be on the parliament. However, I'm kind of like either I'm in a meeting or I'm going somewhere, but I'll just be saying it. I'm like, oh man, can I just get out of this place and just go join the meeting and all that? That's by the case. Now, just like you said, Mazi Prince, however, let me start my topic by starting from that of TB Joshua. In TB Joshua, I will classify the three things I want to speak on, which will be religiosity, what about ism, and then bamboozism. When I mean religiosity, and then I mean Africa has so much been groomed into believing that church, mosque is where God lives, which is not true. God does not live in those places. Because even if you if you read the Bible very well and say you go through the Old Testament and all that stuff, you see that at some point, God led somebody like Moses to the bushes, and then you have the burning bush or whatever it is, and it was burning. And what did he say? He said, take off your shoes or whatever it is, because that place is holy and all that. That's by the way. There was no building there. And Moses I've never seen in the Bible where it is that Moses went back there and built, had a structure over there. So church is not a structure, it's not a building. Church is living like a Christ-like. People like Peter, people like Paul, you see them in the Bible, they will say, oh, they will go into the Corinthians, they go into the Galatians, they go into Ephesians. They are going there to see the people, to meet the people of same, they fellowship because they believe in Christ. The whole thing about this African their mindset about church is just that, oh, it's one man thing. Now he becomes, to the extent that the person now elevates himself to become deputy Jesus or deputy God, and start telling them things and all that stuff. I am not going to judge the dead. That all these things needs to.
Okay, I'm glad that we have you back. I think there is a disruption to the entire connection just now. I wouldn't know.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Wow.
I'm glad that I have you, so I'm going to let you continue. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's been done behind this in there, but in case if you can still hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Still hear you too. So please go on, Mazi, please.
So what I'm saying is, church is not a building. Church is those who follow Christ, a congregation of those who follow Christ. Now, I am not going to judge TB Joshua, but how do I feel that those things needs to be investigated? Yes, we have to. It's only in Africa they say, oh, let the dead, leave them alone. As if they're, come on, people. If we do not know how the water got into the boat, and the boat is sinking, how do we know how to solve the problem? Most of the pastors we have in Nigeria today or in Africa today have taken it as if they are mini gods, that they lord over their congregation. You see some people, most of the pastors sleeping with people's wives, raping the young girls and all that. A lot of atrocities are being perpetrated in both in the church and in the mosque.
Yes.
Now the thing is, I want every one of us to think about it. Those people who have come to confess, let us put our legs in their shoes. if we were the one, we're not saying that they should go and bring out, exhume the body of TB Joshua. We're not saying that. But let this thing be investigated. I have an in-law who happens to go to that church and said he was going there for a healing. Till today, we have not seen the man. And nobody knows where that man is. So when we're talking, I have a first-hand, I'm a witness to what, some of the atrocities.
Yeah, like personal experience. Different personal experiences.
And when we talk about these people, okay, if you look at, I believe close to people like Guru Maharaji, I have seen Jesus of Oyingbo, I have seen Olumba Oluobu in Cross River. This is not people telling me. I have gone close to those places and seen those things. And you see those people, they try to bring themselves as if they are holier than every other person, that we are just nobody. That, as a matter of fact, some of them even claim to be God.
Yes.
Which is false. It is false. Test every spirit. Test every spirit. And what I can tell my brothers and sisters in Nigeria, please, church is not a building. Your pastor is just the same human being like you. Do not worship those people. The Bible detects all those things. It's not everything that they said that is true. Love thyself, love thy neighbor as thyself. That is the commandment that Jesus said. And Jesus said, not that he came to condemn the old commandment or whatever, but he came to fulfill that which had been written.
Thank you, Mazi.
Thank you.
Our time is right here, rolling. And thank you so much for that other perspective, the angle that you are also you've taken it from. And, we are so grateful. So thanks a lot, Mazi. You have a good one, okay? So People's Parliament is a place where you are free to choose what you want to talk about and how you want to talk about them. And one other thing is that when you say your mind, other people watching are likely going to take you up, okay, and speak their own mind in opposition or even in support to what you have to say. And that's why we call it People's Parliament. It's like, it's like open conversation, and you have to respect people and their views as matured adults, individuals, okay? So, because we have another lady, Princess, with us tonight, the rules applies as well, okay? Gentlemen, I haven't really shared the slot again. I have Damilola Alabi. Thanks so much for your patience. You've been there for a while. Same with Prosper Chimaobi. You even kind of got cut off and you managed to get back as well. You might need to get the camera closer to your face even better than that once it is your shots, okay? So the way it's going to go is that Princess is going to go next as a ladies rule. Then Damilola Alabisa, you will go after her, okay? Then after you is going to be Prosper Chimaobi, brother. That will be you, sir. And then I am also going to take, the next person is going to be Chris Marian. Can you hear me, sir? So it's going to be you after Prosper, okay? And then I'm going to take on Jerry. Sir Jerry, Owabu Kenye. I don't know if I pronounce that right, but, Sir Jerry, that will be you, sir, after Chris. Please remember who you are after, because I may have forgotten as well, or mixed them up, so that it doesn't look like, oh, has he forgotten me? It's not that. It's just that I could mix them up, okay? Please help me. I always beg for that. Now, I haven't seen the face of Mr. Incredible, and I hope I could even close the night with Mr. Incredible. So, yeah, let's see how the time takes us. So, Princess, happy birthday, anyway. So, we have 5 minutes because of our time. So
5 minutes, yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Maiyegun. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it, and I'm happy to have you guys in my life. There is so much to talk about, and there is nothing we have not really talked about here before about the whole thing going on. A religion is you know, apart from believing the fact that, apart from believing the Big Bang Theory, so many other people believe that there is an higher being somewhere. That's why you have the Indians, yeah? They do their, is it Buddha they worship there, or Hindu, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You have the Japanese and Chinese and other people do, you know, their Buddha thing. You go to the Middle East, you see them with Islam, you know. You go to Jerusalem, you see them with Christianity. Africans are the only one, yeah, that have misplaced priorities. We do not have our own thing. See, all these idiots that come around and say, oh, Jesus is Lord, or Muhammad is this and all that. They tell you your Ifa, yeah? Olokun Asorodayo is not a God you should worship. They tell you that is the devil. See, everything is so whitewashed that people are just very high on idiocy that you can't see. Maiyegun, the thing is so, it is all about money. See, everybody talking about TB Joshua. Yeah, he's dead. If you're a thief, yeah, tó bá jẹ́ olè, yeah, tí bàbá ẹ jẹ́ olè, even when you're dead, yeah, let the coming generation know that there was a thief here.
You know,
people saying you don't talk about which dead. Why on the old Jesus by the jugular? I be Jesus there alive. So if you have to talk about it, talk about Suleiman is still walking around now. If anybody is going to come out and say things about him, come out and say it now. Be bold about it. It is about money. You see these people buying private jets. You know crowdfunding. What we call crowdfunding. That's what you go there to do. They attack the woman. They bring the woman closer. Yeah, immediately the woman is there. If we drag the husband in, it is as simple as that. You do religion, you do, and you know I said it here. That aside, you know I said it here, Maiyegun, that they should check these bank votes for the money Emefiele stole. People felt I was bragging or I was talking out of point that night. I told them to check bank vote. They should keep checking, these things are there.
One I heard today. Hey, what happened though? What happened to our princess? Okay, I think that will be the network. Okay, that's another thing I was going to share with us tonight, but time won't let us, you know what I mean, for the People's Parliament. So, investigating Emefiele, right? They said that 4 banks, Union Bank rather, Polaris Bank, what other bank like that? Sure, I have all this about, about 4 banks. They said these banks, the new owners who just bought them, they use Emefiele's central bank money, stolen money to buy the banks. And according to the investigator, Tinubu's investigator, they said $280-something million was found in the bank account opened for a 6-year-old. They didn't give details, just like they told you that they found 520 million pounds inside the fixed bank account in London. So today, the central bank has now kind of dissolved the board of all the banks. I was going to share that with you, but maybe we'll kind of talk more about that some other time, not tonight where we have the People's Parliament. So now, I think we are currently having, some technical glitches that is, acting up right now, okay? But I am still going to stick to those who are still here. I mean, like, see how sluggish is moving and all that. I'm so sorry about that. So now I'm going to go to Damilola Alabi. Sir, while we hope Princess comes back, I am going to stick to you then the rest, okay? So you can unmute, sir, please. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Temple of Truth. It's been a while, and of course, I've always been online and listening. But tonight, I got the urge to call because of the guy that called from Nigeria, and because of Jude as well. The guy that called from Nigeria, he said a lot of things, but I want to add to what he has said, and of course, because I'm in Nigeria. He was right to say that Nigerians are animals and zombies and all of that. But I think calling Nigerians animals is even...
No, he said that there are some few people left, that before you know it, the next stage is going to be like zombieism, and that will be it over.
Right. That's where I'm going to exactly. I mean, is probably undershooting the experience in here to say that there are few people left and in due time they will all be zombies. Because currently I'm seeing 99.9% of people here are zombies already. Like a lot of things happen each day that I just feel, what is wrong with us? But sitting down as someone that thinks through a lot of things and all, I realized it is not our problem, especially not our generation's problem. It is our parents' problem. They have been defeated. That defeatist mentality is part of their genotype already in a way, such that whenever they see some of us that want to resist oppression and anything close to it, they start calling us Alaigboro or Moburuku. I mean, all those funny names. So currently, a lot of situation in Nigeria is just so disturbing. I don't know, what explanation would we give to people that fund a ritual of just collecting rice every December and January from politicians, and they are okay? I mean, rice just that once, twice rice and die for nothing. I mean, I don't understand. And before you know it, because politicians do those little things for them, they praise them for free, such that whenever you come out and tell them, guys, you deserve more, you do this, you do that, they look at you as, what are you saying? Are you saying he has not tried? Blah blah blah. It got to a point where I started feeling these people they don't even know what quality of life means. So to say Nigerians are animals is, to me, a disrespect to the animal kingdom. Because I realized one thing: I have animals I'm rearing, and I will say this, and everybody could give it a try. If you keep giving goats, ordinary goats, if you keep giving them the same meal every time, and they are in like a cage, you are not letting them go out, there'll be a time you give them the same food and they will not eat it. Even if they eat, they won't eat as much as they always eat. So that's to tell you that when they change this ration, we are not interested in this anymore. But Nigerians will eat the same lies over and over again, and they are contented. I mean, what else do we have to show that they are zombies? That's exactly what zombies do. Just throw them in one corner, in one direction, and that's all they would bother to listen to, and they won't even contest anything. And about religion, I think the same thing is affecting religion too. I was talking to a friend recently, and I told him, do you know that our politicians are very smart? They are allowing poverty to fester for their own wealth to continue to grow. Because they know that the more they keep you in poverty and they feed you the little things they feed you, the more you vote for them, and you recycle the same set of people every year. And guess what? With the religion, these people are so smart that they know that there is no heaven or hell anywhere. Because let me tell the Temple of Truth today, these people like good things. I mean, forget about it. Whatever bad we have to say about them, let's give them this accolade. Nigerian politicians, they love good things. And I don't want to believe that because of that affinity and love for the good things, they want to actually enjoy this world and go on and die and get somewhere that there will be punishment. So they know there is nothing like punishment, and that's why they are doing people like that. And lastly, I posted something recently too, and I got a lot of. I'm always active on Twitter, and of course, a lot of mad people are there. So I always get this backlash whenever I post anything. I said, criminals rule the world. And the truth is, I've looked at everywhere around the world. Yes, there are levels and degrees to the criminality. But the truth is, all of the world combined, anything called politics and all, they are just, especially that religion leaders and all of those, it is just criminals everywhere. You only need to calm down and see how they operate to realize that these are just criminal ventures and nothing else. So thank you so much, Temple of Truth, and
God
nice
bless
talking to everyone again. Thank
you have a good one, sir. That's you know what I mean? Like, I actually, somebody said that they love his dominion. I'm like, I kind of love his composure, his dominion, and then his points too. And the way he presented them as well is like somebody just sitting down, speaking so quietly, smoothly, and insulting you. And you cannot even afford to get angry because he's not even shouting. He's just saying it like, and you are going to be there like, you are stupid if you believe this or that. Or for example, now, you do believe that and all of that, but that makes you stupid. You know what I mean? Instead of you to get angry, just be like, yeah. I like people like that. I wish I am like that. Where I can sit down and just gently, like, like a well-coordinated way of telling people what they are, and they won't get mad until later. Wait. Did he actually say that? Did he? Is that not what he meant by when he said that? Some of you, you don't use your brain, you use them like that. Say yes, sir. He's saying that and I agree with him. Yes, sir. You agreed with him. Yeah. Why? It says because of the way he said it. That kind of thing. So I love that. So Dami, thank you very much for that. That is brilliant. Now let's go on to we start next again. I believe it's Prosper. Is that Prosper? Yeah. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay. So, sir, you mind just, you know what I mean? What I told you about your face and all that, whatever is convenient. Okay. Just somewhere that we can see it clearly. Over to you, please.
Okay. The General, good evening. Good evening. I'm sorry. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you now. So it's perfect this way. We can manage it. Go on, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you so much. Greetings, Happy New Year to everyone in the Parliament. So please, I will not take much time, and I'm not going to talk much about Nigerian politics because of we cannot keep repeating and discussing what we already know. If the kind of people that are in government now could be given the opportunity to rule, from those in the Senate, the president, and the other people who have left their party to join APC, and their case is cleared from the court. So there's nothing to talk about. Whatever is happening in Nigeria is normal. Like somebody called it Animal Farm, so it's normal. We don't look at it except there will be intervention in time to come. But talking about the happenings in the Christendom and religion in general, you see, I'm not surprised for what is happening. And today we are talking about TB Joshua because he's dead. Nobody is talking about people like Suleiman, people like Omoto Fair from Delta State, the other one now reigning in Zion Church and others. All what you are seeing now, they're talking about.
You remember how the one that in Abuja also?
They're talking about, yeah, many of them. So nobody is going to talk about them now because they are leaving. And the TB Joshua issue, I want you to have this in mind. The target is not because of TB Joshua. The target is, he has many foreigners who are his, what do they call them, wise men and all those things, whom the wife have laid out. So with Nigerian immigration, they are looking for a way to hunt the woman. So the woman now is the target. Forget about whatever they are saying. So I want to be realistic. The BBC that is bringing this issue, that make all this investigation, I want to go back to history. What good news has BBC ever brought to Nigeria or Africa? What good investigation about somebody who's done something good has BBC? I'm not against what they are doing. I'm not supporting TB Joshua. I'm not a religionist. I don't practice religion. I'm just on my own. So, but what good and what good news have BBC brought to Nigeria before? They're talking about TB Joshua, the negative part. What about those donations TB Joshua made to the Westerners during the earthquake and the hurricanes and all those things that happened? Those rices, those things TB Joshua sent abroad to give people that are affected in those incidents. Did they talk about it? Did they televise? Did they talk about the good side of TB Joshua? But they only talk about the negative side because he's a black man. What about the evil that this man did in Nigeria? The money, Rehabonki and all those things embezzled in Nigeria. What about the Bible schools he claimed he built in Nigeria and they claim up the monies, and in Africa they claim all the monies and go? Rehabonki and others. Has BBC talk about that? The slave book they give us called the Bible. The man they are calling Saint today, they call St. Peter, St. Paul, Saint whatever. Was he not the same man who were killing Christians those days according to their slave book? I don't know about that. They told us the Saul was the same man who was slaughtering anywhere you hear the name of God. He see you carrying the Bible, he kill you. But today he's a saint. He's been recorded as a saint. They call him St. Peter, St. Paul now. But they tell our own ancestors who has found or made us who we are today. They say they are evil. The shrines, the gods they worship there are evil. I want to remind everybody who is castigating TB Joshua today, or who is spreading the news. All of us that are here, in the next 100 and something years, we all will be ancestors.
That's right.
The same way they are calling your great-grandfathers evil today. It's the same way if you allow the Westerners and British, this is the same way they are going to make our children call us evil. Because this is our ancestors. Majority of them, if you go by history, those who call themselves the philosophies, the Pentagons and all those things, they all inherited all those things in Africa. And it was our ancestors they stole to their place that made them who they are. But just for you not to see the good part of your ancestors, they term them evil. The same people who term them evil, the same people who carried the same thing that they were worshiping to go and test run in their own side, to know how powerful and how strong it is. But they call them evil. And they bring their own people who has done all sorts of evil and call them saints in your presence. King Herod, in those days when they claimed they born Jesus, was a man who mandated the killing of all children from 7 years down. What kind of evil is that? It is the same Africa who saved the so-called Jesus. When they say Herod want to kill him, he ran down to Africa to save him. But they still call, what good have they talked about Egypt? The first medical school in the world, where this Pentagon, Aristotle, and everything school, it was in Africa, in Egypt. Do they talk about that? But they call you, your ancestors, evil. What good has BBC done to us? There are a lot of evil that has happened. But what is happening with the Pope today, who has come for you to bless the gay marriage? Is he also part of Christianity? Why are they not talking about that? What was the accusation? What about the accusation of kissing children and the blood stain of the wine in the Pope's cathedral? Why haven't they investigated that? Because they are white. What about the allegation of the children killed in the king's palace and whatever they brought up? The man who brought that information was a black man, but they killed him. Why haven't they talked about? How haven't they investigated the queen? How many children died there? I spoke to a British man here who told me, from that British man was where I learned how to call the Bible the slave book. It was a British man. But he called himself a scientist because he doesn't believe in Christianity or anything. So he called the Bible the slave book. And he gives you the history of what is happening to the kings. So brother, all these things they are doing now is what they want to do to us. And for we to keep haunting ourselves, like some here. The only thing Americans are doing is to send to us ammunition to kill ourselves. The British is going to give us, like what BBC is doing now, to bring negative news and bad side of us. But they will never say good side of us. Among all the religious and all the posts that come to Africa, TB Joshua, I didn't say he's a good man, I'm not his fan, I'm not his member or anything. But going by the history, by what we saw on screen and other things, those donations he gives and all those things, those rights. I could remember lives of some footballer that he trained. He opened an academy. Why don't they talk about those ones? Why can't they investigate those ones and give us the good news of TB Joshua?
Yeah, Prosper, you do have a point there, but our time is your time is up, I would say.
Okay,
to
thank
those,
you very much, my brother.
You raised some vital points there, like, wow, if there was no agenda, how come it's all the bad and all of that he did that they actually reported on? What about the good things? Like, even if they want to be balanced and all that, that's a very good point too. And when we are having conversations like this, those who are for and those who are against and all that, and every other thing you've also referenced. Okay, thank you so much, right, for this tonight. I hope next time we'll have light so that you won't have to leave out of the house and just quickly manage whatever light that is there. So I understand that too. So thank you so much for the effort. All right, so appreciated. Okay. God bless you, sir. Now that's what I am saying. You can have conversation like adults, where even if you don't agree, like I don't agree with him. Oh, I agree with him. You know what I mean? Everyone can still say their mind, and at the end of the day, we are all going to learn something new eventually. And that's the purpose of why we are here. I don't know how easy that is for so many people to say, did you learn something new tonight? No. And you have been sitting there for like 2.5 hours. I know. I'm trying to see if I can learn something new, but I haven't learned anything new. It can be difficult for some people to process that, okay? Now I have two other parliamentarians, because normally I think we're supposed to go to Chris, sir, yeah? But I could tell that Jerry is on the road. So Chris, I am just going to, because I want him to stop looking at us. I want him to concentrate, because a member of this platform once told me that they just couldn't let their eyes go up there. They were driving and they had a crash. And I've never forgot that. Like, I will never forget that. So Jerry, sir, I would advise that, please, I will mute for you. And then I'll let you know that your time starts from now, sir, as well, okay? And the screen is yours.
I can pull over for a minute and then put in my short comments and then move on.
That would be great, sir. You are on the screen.
All right. So, all right. I greet you all parliamentarians, and I will just I've pulled over. So I would just want to say what dragged me into trying to be on the program this evening is the issue of TB Joshua. And yes, Prosper, I disagree with you, just like Maiyegun said. I disagree with you because if any of us in the program or anyone else who will listen to this program never know what it looks like to, first of all, as people have said, we have been brainwashed. The system in Africa have brainwashed us, religion have brainwashed us. I don't know if a lot of us have watched videos or some presentations where some people in Africa were made, preacher made them go out and start eating grasses like goats or like sheep. And I just watch how people go out of the church and start eating grass. Then there are other cases where some ladies were bathed naked inside the church and some kind of way, and you will just sit down and say, these people, do they have their senses? Like what? And I don't care what religion you believe in or you are in. Sometimes church preachers or goers convince you with so much and make you believe that whatever they're teaching you here is the best. If you don't do it, you will die. Or if you believe it, if you don't do it, and somehow make people get so much brainwashed and they turn to zombie. So now what DBC did, just commenting a little bit to what Prosper said, why I disagree with him, is the fact that they have not investigated everything in this world that ought to be investigated doesn't mean that if they investigate one, then that one is wrong or is false. Because if you know what it means to violate a lady, or to abuse sexually a lady, or to let people give in to their virginity unwillingly, just because they have no choice, just because they see you as a god. And I will say that see you as a god because I lived in Mafoluku when I was in Lagos, and I was working in Ajawa Estate. I think that may be when his church used to be in Ajawa Estate. And several times I will see this man whenever the church they are driving him past, or his motorcade is passing. A lot of people jump out, everybody running and bowing down and lying down and portraying for him. And that's a problem when he was still in Ajawa State. And I was like, are you serious? Now, a few years later, one of my friends that I think had HIV/AIDS began to go to his church. They gave him holy water. He came back home, started drinking it. A few weeks, few months later, he died. Another case, one of my uncle from village. That one is my uncle. Was so sick, his children carried him from our village back to what? One of his son in Edo State. They brought him to TB Joshua's church. That man, the way they brought him, that's the way they took him back. He died. Now, when people talk about miracle, you sit down somewhere and said, as we say that I won't call Bible slave book because I'm a Christian. I'm a real Christian. I will say I'm a Christian. But again, that's still why I say, when you are a Christian, they made you believe that everything Jesus did, Jesus, when he was doing his miracle, nobody come to him that didn't receive healing. In fact, that's why sometimes I wonder why people still kill him. The people he fed, the people he cured sickness, the people he healed in several ways. Are they not among the people that saw when people they were taking him and throwing him around and saying, kill him, they still say kill him. And apparently they killed him. So my point right here is TB Joshua from onset see himself as God, and people typically worship him like God. And I think that's unacceptable. Now, again, abusing people sexually, when these things are going on, if you know what it is, when people are brainwashed, somebody have used the word zombie, which I agree. When people are brainwashed, they act like zombie. They do whatever they ask them to do in the name of God, in the name of salvation, in the name of don't get out of. I watched the whole 3 series of that show, but I could actually perceive, or I can see myself in that position if I'm brainwashed in that way. Just like people all over the world are being brainwashed. So they tell people to kill Muslims, kill Muslims, Christians, kill Muslims, Catholics, kill Catholics. See what's going on around the world. People are killing their fellow members. In fact, even when you talk about brainwashing people, people are still brainwashed that when I go kill Maiyegun now, I use his blood or his head or his private part and go somewhere, I will become rich. And that's brainwashing. If you don't know, I mean, some people that watch movie Living in Bondage when it started from our Igbo side, I don't know about so many other people, but I think people around the world, because at the time they did what? They all right? They changed, they kind of subtitle it, right? That's what I'm looking for. They subtitle it and people were all watching it.
That's right.
A lot of people still believe that Igbos kill their families, their father, their mother because they love money. A lot of people believe that if you go kill somebody now, you become rich. You get this and that. That's money comes from rituals. But I just be asking them, if you kill somebody and the person put the person in your cupboard, you open the cupboard, you call the name, Cynthia, you'll be vomiting money, money be coming. Who printed the money? Which CBN printed? Whose account was debited for that money to be credited into Cynthia's mouth and Cynthia is vomiting it? But that's brainwashing.
What about the serial number of the money? Is it going to show?
That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, which bank has money have numbers? So who put the serial number? Even money cannot be printed from anywhere other than what they call it, Nigerian printing and minting that prints money.
It's anywhere
else. So who is printing that money? Where is it printing? Now you tell me the money come from a Union Bank account, and the spirit, the evil ghosts go to Union Bank account or go to Maiyegun's account or go to somebody Dangote's account, or go to somebody's store where they would sell their market in Onitsha market, keep their money inside the store and keep it. Who comes the next day and says they're looking for money? Several billions get lost. But people don't think it. They brainwash people's ideas, make them believe that if you just do this, or as I am here now, I can just say, oh, and I'll disappear from here. Or in the night. What else again? Let me tell you about witchcraft in Benin. Am I supposed to now? That would be a long story telling you about witchcraft. These are brainwashing. These are brainwashing. And when people's mind are brainwashed that somebody can, human being can turn to a rat or a goat or a cat. Now, Maiyegun, let me tell you, this one should be important. When I was in Lagos, if people see cats, black cat, white cat is killed. But in America here, black cat, white cat, people pet it, love it so much. What is the difference? People see cats in Nigeria as a witch. Black one, that's even the worst. Because they feel like people have been brainwashed that these things are witchcraft. You see white cat, look at their eyes, these golden eyes, is devil, kill it. But that's brainwashing, and people believe it. So what I'm talking about here is TB Joshua spent time brainwash people's mind, tell them don't get outside this gate, I will kill you, nothing should happen, and all that, and abuse them. So I believe it. If you don't believe it, that might be you. But then it's not only TB Joshua. A lot of
Jerry is never going to listen to me. You know what I said about that? I said, because of the timing, okay? The moment I begin to say, this, that means I'm asking you to wrap up. And I understand that we could possibly be, we could continue talking like that, Jerry. I know you can hear me, okay? But our time is really overshot, okay? And I still have like 2 other people tonight before we wrap it up. I thought we were going to wrap it up by 1:30, but it's now going to the end of the full hours now. So let me quickly go to Chris. So Chris, yeah, Jerry, thank you very much for that, by the way, okay? I think I'm going to look forward to when you're going to phone in, and possibly I could, kind of change the rules in that one, okay? But this one is actually like timing on the screen, okay? So let's go to Chris. How are you, sir? It's just 5 minutes, okay? And I hope it actually works enough for you too. Can you hear me, Jerry?
I can hear you.
I mean, sorry, Chris, rather, I said Jerry again. Jerry has taken almost all that. Okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Chris, I can hear you too, please.
Yes, it's nice talking to you today, and how are you?
Very well.
And I want to say a very big hi to the audience, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Same to you, sir.
Yeah, just a quick one. The last caller, I was talking about black cats. I think I agree with it, because those days when I was growing up, we were meant to believe that when you see a black cat in the morning, your day is going to be bad. And years ago, when I traveled to Germany, I have this Turkish friend. Not really a friend of a friend. And the guy told me something that made me feel very bad. He said, in the Muslim world, in Turkey, is their belief that when they wake up in the morning and if they see a black man, if they wake up and the first they see a black man, right, the whole day is going to be a bad luck.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe when that guy told me. And that's the same Turkey every Nigerian is going to today to buy their wood, their furniture, which they got the wood from Nigeria. But however, Maiyegun, let me forget about that. I just want to contribute tonight, and my contribution is going to be multidimensional. But first, I want to refer to the Liberian man. That parliament we had the other time, right? There was this guy from Liberia that made a very huge contribution, very interesting and very educating contribution. I fully agree with him. When he talk about the Fulani hegemony agenda, which has become a super hydra in Nigeria. That's eating into the fabric of our society, whereby they use religion and ethnicity. But today, I think that narrative, right, has changed. There's a new dimension to that narrative, because I remember during the Buhari time, during the Jonathan time, the 10 northern states governors went to America, to Obama, to accuse Jonathan of killing their people because it was really fighting, it was gaining ground on Boko Haram.
That's right.
The perpetrator of Boko Haram. I remember Roger Nicholas. Was he a captain or a lieutenant or a colonel who led the troop then fighting Boko Haram? The guy was gaining ground. He was really killing them and displacing them, from all the regions that they were in the northern area in Borno then. I remember Borno. I'll talk about that, right? Before I go further, right? I saw, is it Buala I saw today on telly with Tinubu? Buala. Am I right?
Yes, that's Bawa.
That's unbelievable. It can't be Buala. It can't be Buala.
Buala, that's his name. Look on your screen.
How can Buala all of a sudden said he's supporting Tinubu? Buala is from Borno State and is a Christian. And he said he never supported this government because they did a Muslim government because he's a Christian for Borno State and he understands how they are killing Christians in Borno State. The same man today is with Tinubu. I can't believe it. That's going to show you that Nigeria, the problem is the politicians. But further on, let me go to why I'm contributing tonight, right? Yeah. The Nigerian man got it right? But the narrative has changed because the people of the northern region has realized. I remember those days when I was a student. I finished my secondary school in 1978, Notre Dame College, Ozoro. I remember that a lot of my classmates were changing their name to Muslim name to attend university in the north because we in the south, where the oil comes from, we have to pay school fees. In the north, the 10 northern state then was free education. Up to university level. You understand what I'm trying to say? Then Dimitri was in power. Now, but narrative has changed. Those people have realized when Buhari came to power that they are not members, the North Central realized they are not Northerners. There's nothing, they don't have anything in common. So that was why that's where I'm trying to say that narrative has changed. Then my second contribution, my second contribution is about the TB Joshua.
Yes, sir.
First of all, we have to ask, who is TB Joshua? TB Joshua was a disciple of Professor Pella, the magician. TB Joshua was an errand boy for Professor Pella, the magician. When Professor Pella died, people even allege that he killed Professor Pella. But I don't want to go into that. After Professor Pella died, he became a Christian. He was a Muslim. Pella was a Muslim. Now he became a Christian and he opened his set of the synagogue. All of a sudden, it became a household name.
That's right.
But you can, if you remember, in the 1990s, Kola Olawuyi,
yes, sir,
has a program on the radio on Cambe. I remember then he talked about this issue about what TV is doing, what they are alleged of doing today, right? There was a scandal about him then, but Nigerian government never paid any attention. Yes,
sir. He also showed videos, if you remember. He didn't.
Yes.
He interviewed people, the victims, all of them and all of that. But Nigeria didn't respond, and the story died. That's why I said that people who are seeing this today, they may be alarmed. A lot of us have, when there was no internet, no nothing, we have seen a lot and heard a lot about Joshua. That today we are not really moved. But if they are looking into his crime and all of that, or trying to give all his victims closure, people should not try to shut them up because, oh, they are targeting him. But that's me, and I'm glad you are mentioning it. Go on, sir.
That's the problem with Nigerians. Even I think about 10 years ago, my niece, Ejiro, had was, you know, I don't know if after at what age, at the age of 18, he developed sickle cell, and that's very unusual. And she was going paralyzed. Paralyzed. And when they come in England, I said, how can they be? If you are sickle cell, you are sickle cell from birth. How can somebody be sickle cell from 18 years of age? I've never heard of that before. The next thing I knew, they took her to synagogue. So when I called my uncle from England, then I said, where is Ejiro? He said, Ejiro is TV. I said, immediately, uncle, immediately, can I come up for that? You won't kill the girl? You know what they told me? They said, Chris, we are even surprised since we've been to that church. They gave us a hotel we have to pay for, which was very expensive. Then she's not been able to see TB Joshua. This is the last 2 weeks. They only take them to a room. All the people that have got problems, The people that are paralyzed, they take them to a room. They don't have access to TB Joshua. They only come in the morning, tell them to buy water for 5,000 naira. That's what they be buying. I say, uncle, that guy now 419 now. That guy now guy man. Carry picking come out there if you not make your picking die. That was how they took my uncle actually listened to me. They went back to Warri with my niece. Then fortunately for her, her senior sister, another of my niece was in Abuja doing a UCOM. So some of our mates, medical doctors working in the hospital as coppers, she tabled the situation before them. Said, "This is what happened to my." Then they told her, "said If your sister has not had sickle cell from birth, right? It's very unusual for her to have sickle cell at the age of 18." So they traveled back to her to Warri and look into the case. Took her to General Hospital in Warri, and they attended to her. Today, my niece is okay, walking fine, nothing like sickle cell. It wasn't sickle cell; it was a different thing entirely. It was a wrong diagnosis.
Misdiagnosis.
I'm telling you. So that's the problem. You see, Nigerians, right? What I'm trying to say about all this matter is that all these things happen because we allow it to happen. Maiyegun, we allow this nonsense to happen. It shouldn't take BBC to bring up this thing to the forum or to the forefront for us to know that all these Pentecostal churches, all this look, what is this guy's name again? This musician that tell me that Kolo wife was raped by their pastor. The Christians, yes. Yeah, the Christian Association of Nigeria protected that. I remember. Yes.
I don't know what is going on. Like my system is just when people are talking, it's just gonna like push you out. It never worked. I mean, it never happened that way. Could we be having some spirit around tonight, Sir Chris?
Yeah, I'm having TB Joshua, please be sorry for me. I'm going to punish you. Get out!
I know.
So what I'm trying to say is that all these shenanigans that happen in Nigeria that that is taking BBC to come to the forum to I can't hear this guy.
You can continue talking. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. What I'm trying to say, right? It shouldn't take BBC to come to the forum, right, to tell us what is happening. A lot of the churches in Nigeria are guilty of these fucking offenses that we're sorry for swearing about all these offenses, right? That has been leveled against TB Joshua. A lot of the churches in Nigeria, and one thing that is working against Nigeria is that we have all these states self-acclaimed organization like the Christian Association of Nigeria. There shouldn't be any Christian Association of Nigeria. It should be government regulation, regulate the churches. Pass legislation that this is if you perform miracles, if you want to perform miracle, go to the hospital and perform your miracle. Heal people in the hospital. No church leader should perform miracle anywhere. The church shouldn't be a business organization where they'll start building a real estate, buy houses and all these things, selling to building schools, right, where their members can attend. All this nonsense, you stop. For example, in England, is there anything like Christian organization? The Catholic have the organization, the Church of England have the organization. There's not like Christian organization of Nigeria where they protect all this nonsense. TB Joshua was a criminal and he should be treated like a criminal. He's been doing this thing for years.
Thank you so much. Because of our time and we are like almost at the tail end of it. So thank you. And you see, people who have a lot to really share with us. I'm talking about real life experiences and all of that. Maybe when we have a proper program, you'll be able to phone in and we can actually discuss this even further. Thank you so much, Sir Chris.
Yes, I'm talking to you, man. Yeah, take it easy, man. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. So it's going to be me and Mr. Incredible now. And it is you and I that are going to close the night. I have a few other people who are still pretty much behind the scene when it comes like they want to get through. I am so sorry we won't be able to do that anymore tonight. Our time is far gone. I am sorry that somehow you kind of came in late. Mr. Incredible, your own 5 minutes also starts from now. Baba, please.
Baba, good evening and a happy new year to you and to everybody watching me at the moment.
God bless you, Baba, please.
Well, I don't have much to say. I will make everything snappy because it's already late and I don't want to keep you waiting.
That's fine.
And concerning TB Joshua, I don't have any topic to say about him because I'm not here to judge him it is God that called him. Let God judge him, because it for me, I can decide tomorrow to be a pastor too. I'll just sleep and wake up. I will tell everybody that God have called me. I'll look for a small container and looking for members. So it's left for him and God. My problem is Nigeria government. That is where I want to put my mouth on, because that's what affect me, not TB Joshua. Concerning Buala, it's not surprised that he has gone back to APC. It's what everybody know, and we shouldn't be surprised. Dino Minayo, maybe tomorrow again he will start praising Tinubu that is the best president, and is the best that will happen to Nigeria, because everybody is looking for what to get. We are in a transfer period now, like in football. The window is open. So many changes have to be done.
Now, January window.
Yeah, January window is open. So people can transfer here and there. But the main problem is, why is Nigeria still quiet about everything? It's like they are used to all this thing. Up to now, I cannot believe that Nigerians have not even protested for what happened during the election. Now everybody's hoping on 2027. What changes do they expect? What changes do they expect in 2027? Now that Kolo is the president, and they think they can be able to vote. This time around, they will tell them not to open their door and come outside. They will announce the result, and nothing we can do. As long as this what's his name again, Mahmoud is still there, nobody's protesting against him. Everybody have moved on. Life goes on, waiting for 2027. And what's his name again? This former governor of Benue State has endorsed Tinubu. Now Buala have endorsed Tinubu. Maybe tomorrow again, like I said, Dino will abandon Atiku.
The year is still early.
Yeah, the year is still early, so the window is still open. There's everybody is now watching Tinubu. The Tinubu that they have condemned before, they called him drug lord. They called him hand they shake, foot they shake. Now he's the best.
Everybody is now trying to get on board and get his own share.
Yeah.
So who believe them? The people who actually believe that these politicians are on their side are the people I always feel sorry for. And I'm getting feeling sorry for anybody now. Like I'm actually getting because they kind of repeat the lies again and again. And these people are there to buy it. Like you said, 2027, they're already telling them on how to do coalition.
Yeah, coalition. Who and who is going to coalition?
You have no idea you are doing coalition with Abi. So when they now again, we'll be back here again and begin to say, man, look at what they did. They say, but for 4 years that this is what will happen. Now you're acting surprised. Okay.
Yeah. And now they're waiting for 2027. 2027 again will come, they will do them the same magic, and they'll say 2031 or what's it called? Let's hope on 2031.
2035.
Yeah, I don't. My brother, I'm really, if I tell you I'm not tired of Nigeria, I'm really tired. Sometimes I ask myself, why did they give it to me to be in Nigeria? Who did I offend for them to put me in Nigeria?
Like, well, no, why do you create me in this Nigeria? What have I done? What is my sin? You do ask God too. Listen to where's this guy? Pastor, is it called Pastor Solomoni? I've been up Prophet Solomoni was like, God,
my brother, anything pastor, prophets, I'm not interested in them, because they are the one also destroying Nigeria the more.
Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, it seems that we've come closer to the end of the whole show tonight, and
okay,
I mean, like, you know, we can tell that the first 10 days in the 2024 so far so good. I know show to everybody what the rest of the year is going to be like. Anyway, you know,
exactly.
So if everyone is putting their hope on any of these clowns, it's no longer the fault of the clowns or the criminals. It is actually the fault of those who believe them. That's my belief.
Yeah.
Mr. Incredible, thank you very much.
Brother.
For tonight.
I wish you a good night.
And you too. You have a wonderful evening there. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Nice one. So, guys, our time is up, and we've had our chat tonight. Okay. And I know that, like I said, the parliamentarians who are still in the parliament building, but because time is up, they won't be able to make that contribution tonight, but we will do that some other time. Okay. I mean, this is 2024. We'll have our People's Parliament again. Maybe at the end of the month or early next month. Okay. So I have enjoyed my evening with everyone who chose to be part of it this night, and to those who are going to see this broadcast later as well. Okay. Individual contribution are the personal views of the contributors. That's why we call it the People's Parliament. So, and yeah, I want to say thank you to you once again. Remember, you should like this broadcast before you leave, if you haven't done that already. Okay, I'm going to see everyone some other time, or I'm going to see you next time, rather. So you all have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Maiyegun dayari Politico. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.